What is going on, everybody? Today is Friday, May 29th. Thank God it's Splat Day, and welcome to Can't Stop Playing, episode Lucky 13. I'm your host, Zach Ghost Robo, and joining me from across the pond, Prince Nintendo himself, a man with 1 million amiibos and a face like Mario, Scott Game Riot.
I got 5 amiibos. I got the lowest count out of all the 4 of us.
Man, you gotta step your amiibo game up first of all.
Don't you want Charizard, though? Aren't you desperate for this?
Charizard was my favourite Pokemon. So
exactly. So you gotta go pick up at least 5 of them.
It's £25 now already. It's just come out.
What?
So.
It just came out today.
Yeah. Well,
those British, they just jippy on everything, don't they, over there? It's just a wicked land. I remember when they were occupying our country, Scott. It wasn't a fun time.
How do you remember that?
Move on from that, Zach, please.
They did some bad things. Anyways, speaking of bad things, a man who last week was all sorts of rambunctious, Gabe Volatile Gabe.
All right, I'm assuming someone else that lives in Texas is listening. Why was there a storm at 8 a.m.? It's crazy sunny at 9 a.m., and now it's all cloudy. We really had like 3 different weather days today. It's stupid.
Illuminati confirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, the weather machine. I heard that Obama is using a lot of it this year because he's only got a few more months in office.
I really would love to know what your news source is, Zach. And like
Fox
history,
News?
like who taught you history as well. Yeah. That explains a lot.
And from the other side of the continent, a man on a mission, Max Blitzwinger.
A mission? Oh, yeah, I was on an Amiibo mission.
You were.
The man that complained a few weeks back about Amiibos went out at 8 in the morning and stood in the cold for 3 minutes until the doors opened up to a Toys R Us, walked in, strolled right in, wablammo, bought some Amiibos, and got right out.
What kind of clientele was waiting with you? Like, are we talking about people dressed in Nintendo costume, little kids, grandmas?
Oh, I wish there would be grandmas dressed in like costumes.
Bowser
like
grandmas?
Yoshi. Yeah, like Yoshi. Imagine if she did that whole face paint and everything, and we haven't done an Amiibo attraction ride, by the way. That was a stellar segment that I came up with.
It was.
And we haven't done that segment in ages, so I'll try to bring it back next week, guys. I can't think of anything on the spot right now. But I was actually shocked by how many people were there, because today is still like a work day, so I thought, this early in the morning, there isn't going to be that many people. But I stood in line for a good, maybe 20 minutes waiting to get checked out. And it's not because our cashiers are really, really slow. It's it was literally probably, I don't know, 28, 30 people in front of me. Like, a lot. So, yeah. They ran out of Robin, Lucina,
Max mic is really dusty.
Sorry?
Max mic, your mic is really dusty.
It's not dusty. It's my dog's hairs always getting attached to it, which is just a giant pain.
What's your dog do around the
Max
mic?
records duets with his dog every Wednesday.
No, we actually play fetch with it. Like, I take off the pop filter and then... No, I'm joking. It's because, when you have a dog like I do, where he's a giant golden retriever, you know how much hair he produces. Everything is in hair. Like, right before the podcast, I have to always use those, rollers, because otherwise it just looks like I walked through, a fan of hair.
They produce more hair than Nintendo produces Amiibos.
There you go. That's a good analogy.
I think it's weird that Robin and Lucina are the rare ones, because those are the ones that were sold out here as well.
But they made 3 of them. That's why.
3 Robins, 3 Lucinas.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Reggie was in a meeting. He's like, "Listen, guys, we're gonna make 3 of these guys. 3 of
I like his new voice, by the way. It's a little bit more professional than his normal
And we're gonna send them one. We're gonna send. Actually, we're gonna do a whole new thing where it's gonna be disassembled into parts, and you have to buy the different parts across the states, and then you put them back together into one figure. Yeah, that's what they did.
I think it would be pretty epic if they did you know how they have shiny Pokemon, where if you're going through the grass so many times you get a shiny Pokemon. So what they need to do is have one variant per county or something, or per state, and it's hunt down the variant Amiibo, and if someone gets it, they're like, yes, sprinting out the store.
You really want a headline to read "Death as a result of
that's
Amiibo hunt." At first, I thought you were going to say something along the lines of they'll have somebody standing at a Walmart just counting how many steps you've taken through Walmart. They're like, okay, he hit 5,000. Go approach him quickly. He's qualified. Or
we could just have someone the first person to body modify themselves into Amiibo, get their feet nailed to a base, and they kind of just
Here's a bonkers idea, right?
Oh yeah, that wasn't.
No. Here's a really bonkers idea. Nintendo, why not just make enough of them for everyone?
No,
because then nobody's gonna buy them.
Don't you remember Beanie Babies, Gabe? The allure of Beanie Babies is that you couldn't get them all at
There
one
was
time.
an allure to Beanie Babies?
I had tons.
I had too many. I had a dragon one and a pumpkin one as well.
Nice.
Halloween themed.
Still, an allure for Beanie Babies is maybe something that didn't exist at one point. Not real, I think. Did real people want them?
Real people, not like me or Scott, the fake people on this show. No, but I think honestly, like the reason that they're popular is because of the limited nature.
Yeah,
right?
I mean it's Pogs, it's all of those things that got huge.
But it does suck that there's like a few thousand people out there that want them fully, and they just can't because there's just not enough of them.
Well, and hopefully they'll get better about it, because they did really release quite a bit of things. Like when I went today, they had lots of Lucario on the shelf, so that's now become available again, and they're re-releasing Villager and somebody else, so hopefully you'll get a chance eventually.
Also shout out to everybody buying like 5 Amiibos just so they can sell them on eBay.
Oh no, those cow.
You're a great person, and you're a great contribution to society.
They're buying them for the people that can't get to the store, Gabe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, then sell them at retail price. Don't sell them for like 3 times.
No. They sell them for the cost of the gas,
right?
Standing in line,
the mental exhaustion it takes to like fight the crowds off.
They're charging for gas, a meal of some kind, an expensive one.
Yeah.
I don't know what else. They're filling up their tank with the gas too. Like,
yeah, a hotel room to sleep in front of the store.
Speaking of meals, I was in Seattle this past week. I can say I was at PopCap for a Plants vs. Zombies thing, but that's about it.
That pretty much gives it away already, though, let's be honest. Super
great event, but we went to this restaurant, me and my brother Jake and Mastrov, if some of you know him, and the restaurant, the door was almost heavier than me. Like, I had a tough time opening this door, and so then you walk in, everything in this place was monumentally heavy. Like, the chairs took a full body worth of strength to pull back.
Was it like a bodybuilder's restaurant?
I don't know. The plates were heavy. They even had these little weird coils on the napkins that you could have probably killed somebody with. It was a very strange restaurant, and it was so dark. And so I assumed this is gonna be. It was expensive. We're going to have big, good meals. And no joke, the portions it was like Ratatouille, if you've seen that movie. And so everything was heavy except the food itself. Yeah. So you gained your weight from...
Look, maybe that was the simulation. They did a lot of psychological testing. They're like, listen, if we make them feel like everything else is worth a lot of money, we could charge them $50 for a burger.
Is this a chain restaurant? Or is it
No, it was some... I think it was called the Purple Room or something. I don't know.
Was it called the Bodybuilders Inc. Maybe?
Yeah, it had a weird spiral wine thing that a lady walked in and then came out a different person. I don't know. There was some weird stuff going on at this restaurant.
By the way, Zach, did you hear about the sorry to jump because you just said fountain and spiral thing that made me think of. Did you hear that in Toronto they remade the main fountain in our biggest mall downtown, Eden Center, into Splatoon? Really? It's colored water, and they have little things standing, and it's pretty cool.
Zach would love that.
You should go vlog yourself swimming in it.
Oh yeah, and getting arrested too.
I told
you nice in Canada.
As I'm colored in orange, the most embarrassing way ever.
There's a slight Splatoon push. I saw during one of the NBA games.
There was
recently.
A slight Splatoon push.
There was
so let's have a marketing campaign, but we're only going to do it slightly, guys. Just a little bit, not much. Just a little bit of a marketing campaign.
Yeah, it was happening during one of the games, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" I saw it. I'm like, "Wow, there was a Splatoon game."
Was it the Kid Squid song? You're a kid now. You're a squid now. You're a kid. You're a squid. You're a kid. You're a squid.
Yeah, I don't know.
The hype for Splatoon was real in Seattle, though. Everybody there on both sides of the coin was really pumped for Splatoon. So at least they sold 10 copies, probably.
Sweet.
That's good.
There's 10 Wii U's out there, isn't it?
Yeah. There's I think 11 actually. They sold another one.
I've got one actually. Let's make that 12.
Yeah.
12 Wii U's.
Internationally, not bad.
It's still some beating a Dreamcast, in terms of sales, which is quite an achievement.
How long was the Dreamcast out for? 3 weeks?
It was longer than 3 weeks.
It was about a year, wasn't it? A year and a half.
Yeah, it was about a year. Yeah.
Dreamcast is a weird system. Those VMUs,
yeah, because the Wii U is a perfectly normal system.
Yeah, the Wii U pad is a perfect controller.
If we're gonna rank some of the best systems of all time, the Wii U is definitely up there. The Dreamcast is not.
What? Hold on. No, what? Let's do this then. All right.
Okay.
Okay. You're saying the Wii U is better than 5's system?
I think the Wii U is.
What did
Wii
you?
U is
Was that a sentence just now?
Yeah.
What
No, it was
did you say? The Wii U was better than 5 systems. I'm like, what are you? What?
Okay, are you saying that the Wii U is anywhere in the top 5? Is that the question?
I think the Wii U is my personal favorite and possibly most polished Nintendo system alongside the Super Nintendo.
You're bonkers.
Oh
What
my
matches
God.
it besides the Super Nintendo for Nintendo? The N64?
The
GameCube?
Nintendo?
No.
What?
The Nintendo that works 1 out of 20 times after you blow all your body's air inside of it, which really doesn't do anything anyways.
Yeah, well, that was just a sign of the times. I don't know why people thought that blowing into the cartridges was a thing that would
The
work.
gamepad is a glorious piece of machinery.
All right. So, just real quick, top 5 consoles.
It rattles.
Top
If you
three.
look-
Top three.
Look at that. It rattles with you as well. Makes a sound.
Yeah, well, no,
What
because
is it? Does it actually rattle?
yeah, it fully rattles.
Scott's bashed his so many times.
Mine
it
doesn't
even have any
rattle.
sense
I haven't. This is
left in
brand
it.
new, pretty much. I've
Mine
already
doesn't
used it.
rattle.
Mine does rattle as well. I can't get it.
What the heck are you guys doing to your gamepads?
All right, top 3 consoles of all time. Ready, Scott, go.
Oh my God. I
Great.
don't know.
On the
That's
spot.
a big statement to make, but it's definitely not the Wii U.
No, this
Okay.
is so easy. All right, so Super Nintendo, PlayStation 2, and
PS2's got to be
yeah.
nice.
So basically
Super
the ones you played the most when you were a kid.
No.
No.
P-
No, dude, the PS2, in my opinion, is the best console.
It's
Yeah,
the most... Because what? Because it has the biggest library?
The
No,
best library.
The best library.
Yeah.
Why do you say
the
that like
biggest
it's nothing?
library?
Like that's not even a factor. That's
The biggest
that's a
library?
massive factor.
Just
What is
because
the
of the
greatest?
most
What is the
convenient-
greatest PS2 game? God of War 2, Shadow of the Colossus.
Metal Gear.
Yeah, man.
There's
Well, no,
lots.
Metal Gear
I mean, I think there's a lot to really go to. There's
would-
lots.
some
I mean,
would
it had
say-
an incredible library. I think the other thing it was incredible for is diversity. Like, it had an incredible roster of every type of game. Like, you could get lots of action games. You could get lots of RPG. You could get lots of JRPGs. You could get platformers. I mean, it had everything. Like, there
Yeah,
was
I mean,
no
the Wii U,
thing-
you got Mario. Oh, and
But
Splatoon.
was the PS2, was that
There
a
you
product
go.
of the PlayStation 2 or a product of them being so dominant in the market space that their console then automatically got all the games?
Well, they
Either way,
became
it doesn't
dominant using the PS2 more so.
And it was a DVD player, wasn't it? People.
Yeah.
Yeah,
hyped
that
it
was part of the.
All right, so Super Nintendo,
Shell.
PS2, and what game?
I don't. I want to give it to like Xbox, I guess.
I think
360?
360 maybe.
Yeah,
Which Xbox?
360. 360.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that did revolutionize like online gaming, really.
Yeah.
Because remember, Sony wasn't even doing it to that extent before them. Like Xbox Live.
Well, it came out, didn't it? But it wasn't the same in
Yeah.
terms of like quality.
That's a respectable list. I'll stand by that. Except I put PS2 as first.
Yeah. You can interchange those, but the Wii U is
So what's
nowhere
yours,
near
Zach?
it.
What's
It's the only
your
thing.
list then? Wii U, apparently, for some reason.
I think
The
I would
Wii?
go...
The Dreamcast.
I think if I want to keep things... God. I'm just going to tune you guys out. from now on.
Virtual Boy.
I think if I'm just doing a solo cast today. I think if I want to keep things really equitable, I would go
Game Boy Micro.
No, it's my Connect 4 handheld, it's my Monopoly handheld, and it's my
Apple Watch.
yeah. No. But for reals, like I think I would say Wii U,
Okay.
Xbox 360,
Okay.
and PlayStation 4.
Wow. PlayStation
Really?
4.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
interesting.
you're
I think you like the PS2 much.
I
then?
feel like I would put PlayStation 4 like for me in like the top 5, maybe at number 5, but it just it hasn't proven itself fully yet.
But I
I'd
guess I'm
love
not talking
to see
about
a little more
games.
Now, what are you talking about? If
I'm
it's
talking
not
about
games?
the system, the controller.
Yeah,
like
yeah. And that's why I would put it already in the top
Yeah.
5 because I think it does a lot of stuff well.
I really like Super Nintendo as well. If for
So
nothing
you put
else,
Wii
then
U first.
no, not that wasn't
No,
my
yeah,
order.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I think as of right now, the Xbox 360 is probably number one. I don't know.
I still think it's bonkers that you think that it's anywhere near the top 5, but hey,
The Wii
to each
U?
his own, man. Yeah, dude, like
The Wii U probably has the highest rated library of exclusives ever. I bet.
It doesn't have the highest rated.
I bet
Nah.
it
Where'd
does.
Where'd you get this stuff from?
Yeah, I
That's
bet
like
it does. They have more 9 out of 10 exclusives than any other
Not even-
console.
I don't know.
no, I don't think so. Not
Okay,
from the
well,
Super Nintendo, not that the PlayStation 2, not even PS1.
Okay. Well, I don't know that it's fair to compare a system that had like 7,000 games to one
Yeah.
that has like 50.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's wrong with it.
That's one of the ways to evaluate, right?
Okay,
That's
how
one
many
of the
exclusives though are on PlayStation 2?
A lot.
Final
Yeah, there were a
Fantasy.
lot. Yeah, I mean, there's
Dark
tons of
Cloud.
like RPG stuff. There
We
was
spent
lots-
2 hours trying to name them all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
would be too
JRPGs
long.
alone, like there's hundreds of them that are fantastic, and they're only on PlayStation 2.
Whoa. Think of the
So,
past.
so you wouldn't put the Wii console in the mix
No.
at all?
The gamepad is one of my favorite controllers of all time, along with the DualShock 4.
How is it possibly one of your favorite controllers?
I think it's
one
a
of the
beautiful...
worst controllers ever designed. It's like a child's tablet.
I really love it. I like
so
the
you can
triggers.
smash it over your head and it still works.
I wish we could get Iwata and Reggie like really drunk one day, right? And be like, hey, come on, guys, let's be real. This isn't gonna leave this room, but really, 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 really. How do you feel about the gamepad? I wonder if they really I wonder if they're really actually proud of what they did with it.
I'm sure they are.
You think? I hope they are.
You think they're like, man, this is a piece of trash. Let's sell it.
No, but I think they recognize that maybe they shouldn't have done that. I would think. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong.
Pro Controller is a fine alternative if you're not impressed by
that doesn't work with everything.
I think the main reason why that controller is like not particularly great is because I don't think it's ever been implemented too well. Like I feel like what I wanted that controller to always be is like simple things, like if I'm playing like if let's say Far Cry came out on it, I'd love to have my inventory on there, right? Like so I could like manage it, like quickly tap, boom, 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 have a map on there instead of on your screen. Like so I just think it's never been like.
Well, they did that with like Zombie U and Batman.
Yeah, but so I think that was kind of scratching at the surface. But remember, that was a release. That was like a launch game. So since then, no one has ever done anything.
Because people like you guys said, this is terrible. We hate the gamepad.
Zombie U is very cool, but I mean, just the form factor. Like it's not traditional. The sticks really, really suck. And I have big hands already, and like it's just. It's too
I have big hands already, and they're growing every day.
No, like I feel like a monster holding that thing because I have big hands.
It's the biggest controller.
I know. I don't like it.
So you should feel like a tiny person.
No, I'm cool.
All right. So how do you feel holding the DualShock 4? That's like the smallest controller then.
I feel fantastic. It's right here. It feels great.
Speaking of fantastic, let's move to some games that we've been playing this week.
Go.
The best game of the month released today.
Yeah, The Witcher 3 was actually out last week.
No, Splatoon's out today, and all of you have a fine chance to go.
Sorry, I thought you said it best.
Yeah, the best game of the month, Splatoon, came out today.
So back to The Witcher. Yeah, it was out last week.
And Splatoon.
It's confusing.
Yeah, I have a feeling I can predict this next segment, how it's going to go.
No, but let's talk a little bit about Splatoon. We don't have to spend a ton of time on it, but all of us...
Do we start with positives or negatives? What do you want us to do?
I want to start with your emotional response to the game.
Emotional? I cried when I entered it.
It made me cry.
It was so splashy.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought the game was awesome. I'm enjoying it. I haven't gotten a lot of time in yet. I've not done any of the single-player stuff yet, so I'm not sure about that yet. I've done the multiplayer. It's a ton of fun. I think it's what Nintendo does best, which is mechanics. Like the core functions of the game are really, really great. I'm actually playing it with motion controls. I don't know. I got used to it in a test fire, and then now I've gotten pretty good at it. So I actually like it with the motion controls. Again, mechanically, it's amazing. It's like really, really satisfying, super duper intuitive, well done. It's an incredibly colorful game, which is something that I always appreciate because I think a lot of game companies and developers kind of forget that there's a color palette and it's not just browns and blacks and all that. So it's really cool. And it's exactly what a shooter would be if it was done by a Nintendo. So, like, to me, it lived up to all expectations that I had for it, which were pretty high. So, and then I'll talk about negatives after, but that's my opinion so far.
No one else has any exciting opinions?
It's a video, and like
it's a video game.
It's a video game, like and it's fun.
Wait. Is this the first game ever that Gabe has not loved?
Yeah.
I don't not love it.
I don't think there's ever been a game that you rated lower than 7.5 ever.
That's not true. There's a lot of games I really hate.
What have we covered on the podcast that you didn't like?
Evolve.
No, he said Evolve is like an 8. I remember.
Yeah, Evolve very cool.
This may be a first, guys. I didn't like a game. Here we go.
I think I'm very vocal about Assassin's Creed. Like my dismay for
those
games.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
if you're going to compare Splatoon to Assassin's Creed...
I'm not. No, he's just asking what games do I not love. There's a lot of games.
What don't you like about Splatoon? Lack of content, I'm guessing?
Yeah, there's really not enough there. But they're saying it's coming, so, for now, I'll take their word for it.
Yeah, and I will bring that up as well because I feel like I'd be hypocritical if I criticized Evolve for that and then didn't bring it up for Splatoon. Now, again, I didn't play the single player. I think that this game has a lot of promise, because, again, they did say in advance that not only is DLC coming, and it's going to be free. So that's another appeal.
Is it all free
in my-
DLC, or is it?
And not all of it.
I think
like,
all the stuff they've talked about, modes, weapons, all that's free content.
yeah. But like, I'm guessing if the game does well and
They'll have like a
the
Nintendo
DLC
character
starts
skin
doing
pack.
well, yeah, they'll start doing some stuff that's paid for, just like Mario Kart did. But yeah, the huge bulk of it is free. Here's one thing that we're not going to talk about The Witcher quite yet. I don't even know if we are, but the free DLC there, I take issue with, because they said there's 16 pieces of free DLC.
Yeah, it's not really.
But one of
anything,
them's
is it?
like horse armor, one of them's like a new dress for Yennefer. Like,
Yeah, but for this, they said it's going to be new game modes. So, like, a game mode is a substantial piece of content.
But also,
you
they
know?
said they're going to release that. Was it $14.99? I think for that expansion. It's got like 30 hours of content. Just
Yeah.
that's pretty good value for.
yeah. So I mean, my only issue with Splatoon is the lack of the content, because I haven't played enough.
Let me set up an analogy for you, okay? You have a significant other, right?
By the way, sorry, just a quick interruption. Is Splatoon a full price game in
Yes.
the US? Okay,
Yes.
sorry, just clarify.
In the UK, it's actually less for some reason.
Yeah,
Like,
I heard
most
that.
next
I
gen
heard in the
games
UK it
are
was
40.
cheaper.
Let's
Over here, it's 30, but which I think is probably the right price, personally.
Yeah.
But
All right, do I have a significant?
Okay,
other?
go
No.
ahead. Yeah,
I have a
significant
wife.
other.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. You have a wife. So
Yes.
All right, so you've spent quality time with girls, and so I'm going to propose a situation to you. Would you prefer to have a girl come and kiss you once? Okay, so this is a very limited experience, but it's very, very juicy and lovely. Or have a girl come and punch you in the face 50 times? Because that's how I feel when I play Assassin's Creed, and there's so much content there, and it's so worth my $60. Or Destiny. But Splatoon may have a condensed amount, but boy, I'm going to remember that kiss.
What?
So,
So the
now
point
that
of
we have that amazing analogy,
I mean,
the
I'll
moral,
always- why would anyone take a punch? Period.
because
Like,
the moral of the
why
story is
can't
that
it be
more
one
of
kiss
something
against
not
50
great
kisses?
is not a good thing. That's like such a
No,
Yeah.
I know, but
stupid
there's games.
statement.
Well, no, because here's the thing: there's games out there that do give you 50 kisses instead of just a one. You know what I mean?
Very, very few.
The Witcher is full of kisses. Quote me on that.
Yeah, from really ugly old ladies.
Wait.
no, not in this game. They're all attractive, actually.
Yeah, I have
all the main
yet
characters.
to see an ugly person in this game. Maybe the old people, I guess, but there's not a lot of ugly people in The Witcher.
Bloody Baron, you're just feeling his teeth.
You don't actually kiss him, though, do you?
I don't know what game you're playing.
All right, so here's my Splatoon take. The content is limited, but again, I think, like Max mentioned, the mechanical proficiency of Nintendo is just so spot on. It's great to see them tackle a new kind of genre with that. We've seen countless platformers, countless driving games, but now a shooter space type title from Nintendo. It's really interesting to see. Hey, we've always wondered what would a Nintendo or Mario shooter be like. Well, now we know. And in the same way that they kind of took their Mario brand to Mario Strikers with soccer, Mario Baseball, and didn't give you a hardcore baseball experience, didn't give you a, you're going to be able to reenact the Giants versus the Braves, but they gave you a Nintendo-based baseball experience. That's what this does to the shooter, and I think that it is so well made that it makes up for the fact that maybe
You're going to be doing the same thing constantly. And that's fine, because there's nothing wrong with it, because it's a
Gabe,
good time.
what is Call of Duty? There's a lot of content there, but it's the same thing. You're shooting guys that come up in front of you every
it's
time.
something that is kind of like inherent in this genre. I think you can't do a shooting game that feels versatile and super different every
but you
round.
can do it in more than one map, like or whatever, 3 maps, whatever the case may be. I don't know the exact count here.
Yeah. Like I said, look, I'm not going past the fact that there is, like, I would have preferred to see some more content. There's some other things that I don't particularly like. I don't like some of the mechanical stuff, like on the operational side. Like, for example, I don't like the fact that in order to change my weapon class, I have to back out of the lobby.
That's
That's
weird
just
too.
silly. I hope they could update that somehow and like do that so that you could just upgrade or update that as you're in the match. There's other elements that I think don't particularly go well. Like, again, no chat, even though to me it's not a big issue because we can always hop on Skype. But I think that for a lot of people, due to the nature of this game, people would like to have voice chat in the game. So again, kind of weird that it isn't there. And I could see how somebody who likes shooting games would say that that's a core mechanic of that genre. So I could see why people would argue that it needs to be there. Now, there is workarounds around it, but again, you shouldn't be responsible for doing that. I mean, you're buying a complete
You can
package.
party
so-
chat though, right, through Wii U? It's just not game chat.
No. I don't believe you can.
with friends. There's
Nintendo
no
doesn't have a party chat yet.
there's no friends chat.
No, there is
I
not.
don't think so.
So what would you
That's
ever?
too that's too modern for.
How do you
Yeah.
ever talk to anyone on Wii U?
It's only through game chat.
Yeah, some games have like an in-game mic you can
Yeah.
use.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah, very weird. I mean, stuff like that it's a good game, but you know, it'd be disingenuous to sit here and say like this is a great game for me at least because there's such a limited amount of things to do. And yes, it's very fun, but that fun will only hold me over for so much.
I think you might change a little bit, maybe not entirely, but if you play the single player, which I do feel is a great
yeah.
creative outlet for them to show, like, hey, this stuff doesn't just cover the level, but here's a bunch of other things you can do with it, and there are different items, enemies that never appear in multiplayer in any sense, like sponges, right? There's a lot of platforming sponges where you have to shoot the sponge to build it up with ink, and then they'll shrink, and you could fall, or you're jumping, fighting enemies. There's a lot of interesting stuff with pathing, where they have some enemies that are constantly dripping ink and chasing you, and so you have to use like long lines of your own ink to escape them and kind of make sure you don't get trapped in a corner. That shows, I think, a lot more creativity, where then for me it feels like a very fully fleshed out idea instead of like, hey, tech demo, paint some ink around the levels, and we got these cute little characters. So I think if you dive into that, Gabe, like maybe it doesn't become your favorite, but I think you might be like, they really hit on something here. Because
yeah, possibly. I haven't touched the single player.
Yeah, the
stuff.
only issue I've heard about the single player is that a lot of people said, except for like speed running, there really isn't any incentive to go back and like play through it again. Because again, the story isn't particularly engaging.
But most single player games don't have like a going back process, do they? Like,
no, I know, but like I mean, like a lot of games, like if they have a narrative, you could go experience it again, or if there's a lot of collectibles to find or something, because then you kind of like look, that's what The Witcher is like stuffed with, right? Like that's.
So you wouldn't ever go back through The Witcher again, would you?
No, of course not. But what I'm saying is like you, The Witcher is padded out with side quests and more things to like incentivize you to explore the world more, right? In the single player format. Here, it's pretty much like once you figured out that puzzle, you kind of know how it works. So except for speedrunning, I've heard that there isn't any incentive to go back. And then the other concern that I've heard before for people saying that they find that it's kind of cheap because a lot of people mention the content for the game, and then you have amiibos that unlock lots more content. So some people said that, maybe that amiibo content should have been in the box instead of on the amiibos. I'm not sure about that because I didn't try out the amiibo stuff.
Just to clarify with that bit, like I thought it was 60 separate levels, 20 per amiibo, but really what it is it's 60 challenges going back through the same level. So for example, you'll have like a sniper in a level instead of the regular
so there is
Bioshock.
incentive to go back, like once you have the amiibo, I guess.
Right, but it's not like they said, hey, we got 3 extra worlds on these amiibos that nobody else can play. It's re-going through the same levels with different weapons or different challenges. There's some where you are just a squid and you have to speed run, see if you can beat the level in like a minute or whatever. So they modify the content a little bit, but it's not what I originally thought, or probably you thought, which is like, hey, we've got all these extra levels that we saved.
Mm-hmm. So Zach, would you go back and play through it again with like a sniper? Or would you? I mean,
I like the challenges, but I'm a person that plays everything once, and like I'm complete with it. The multiplayer I think has replayability, especially if they do keep up with the DLC. When I first played the Testfire, I was very concerned that it would grow tiresome quickly, but it hasn't for me, and I think that part of it is just the fact that even though the maps are limited, the loadouts feel pretty different, and the ink color.
That's another issue is that the loadouts are pre-made.
They are pre-made.
Yeah,
and the gear has not.
That I don't particularly care. Like I wish that you could give me the freedom to like, hey, let me assemble my own kind of class. You know? I would prefer that, but then again, one of my favorite games is Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, and there it was set. Like, you were given a certain type of gun and a certain type of... So maybe it's actually better for, like, in terms of balancing and just getting it right so that no specific combination of 2 guns and a power-up could make you the most powerful on the screen. So maybe...
I think it's probably because, like, for example, the roller is so much different than the splatter shot. Like, your whole playstyle is changed up there. And... I will say the gear is kind of a little bit disappointing. I thought that would be a big area where I place investment, but I don't know if it's something with the economy or what, but the way they have it set up, I would just kind of go and clean house and like buy everything that was available and then pick the one I thought looked best, and you can grind it, to get more perks, but it wasn't... I guess I wish that there was more like, ooh, this one's 10,000, and it's like, light up shoes or something, instead of just, hey, we've got all these 800 coin shoes or whatnot.
So what do you guys think about like the sort of the graphics as well? Because I feel like I went from playing, it's a bit of a weird example, but I played Witcher on like 4K on the PC. I jumped into Splatoon on the Wii U, and it's not. It just loses that crispness that you want for like a next gen game.
That's a very unfair comparison.
Oh yeah, no, it's completely unfair. But I'm just saying it's very jarring
I'm
at
saying,
times.
like, I think it's also unfair in terms of Splatoon is stylized. It has an art style. Witcher tries to look
but
realistic.
it's not got that sharpness, is it? It's got a color. It looks. I'm not saying it's an ugly game at all.
I think it's a very vibrant game. For me, at least. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it is. That's what I'm saying. It is a very bright game. It looks. The mechanics, like everyone said, is very, very solid. I love the creativity of like having the paint everywhere. I mean, once the whole level's painted, it looks so good. And it's a game I can see myself playing a lot, which is rare for me to say in terms of like Nintendo, because I can see myself playing multiplayer like over and over again.
Yeah,
it is very addictive.
And that's the thing I think it does best is like. I almost feel like, some of the best games you ever play are games that you almost can't verbalize why they're great. Like, you play them and you're like, it's just something, like I can't pinpoint what
just
it is.
Clicks,
but
like
it's just fun. It's just, and this game does that. I think to me, like I would say that it's worthwhile to pick up and check it out. But I also would say for people that, again, are concerned about content or maybe a little bit more conscientious about how they invest their money and everything like that, maybe you are better off to wait to see what this next DLC is, to see if that really adds to the content. But on the flip side, you have to consider that then if you join at that point, you're going to be kind of behind the community in terms of like all the strategies that people come up with, and just the play level is going to get better. I hope a final comment. I hope that the meta for the game like gets more and more intriguing. Like that's the other thing, is that now that it's out in the public, we'll see like, will people come up with all these like unique methods of like covering more paint, or maybe teaming up, or maybe like having two splat rollers going and behind them covering them with splatter shots. Like I'm really intrigued to see how the actual meta of the game evolves as we go on now.
Well, good luck to the people trying to coordinate, trying to come up with those new plans.
If we play together, if the four of us hop
us,
in, we can coordinate.
But most people.
One last thing I'll say about Splatoon that I think is a subconscious victory for this game is that the rounds are 3 minutes long, which is very short compared to most other multiplayer games, and yet it feels fulfilling to play a round like that. I think that's pretty cool that they were able to find a way to condense the gameplay to such 180 seconds, and yet it still feels like a good round, and you can get in and get out pretty quickly.
Keeps it fast paced as well, doesn't it? It keeps it going.
And so if you have a sucky round, like, there's never a need to back out of a mode because it's going to be over in 50 seconds or 100
unless you
seconds.
want to change a gun.
Yeah, I mean, like mid-match, like Call of Duty. Say you start off like 0-10, you're like, screw it, I'm out. I don't want to wait, 10 minutes for this. And I'll be interested to see if all the upcoming modes maintain like that 3-minute barrier, or if they're going to have some longer modes or what. But I just thought it was kind of interesting, and it's one thing that when I was in Seattle this weekend, they brought up that they found interesting was like that short of a time period, and having it still be really fun is kind of
I think that's what makes it feel faster, though, because it isn't a very fast game. Like, unless if you're in squid mode, it's actually pretty slow for a shooter if we compare it to more like modern and other stuff. So I think the time is really what adds to that kind of like frantic pace, because you're like, okay, come on. And I also think that the interesting part about the time is that it also adds to the I don't know. There was very, very few matchups where our team lost like completely dominantly, and I like that about the game because it's very easy to turn things around even with like 40 seconds left. Like your team, if you really strap in and you really go for it, you could even turn on a match where you were way behind. So that's another thing that's like a great sign of a great game, where in such a short span of time you could still turn around the contest. So it's pretty cool.
I know you guys will think I'm bonkers for this, and I know how you guys all feel about this game already, but the game actually controls quite a bit like Gears of War. Just the walking, it's like the same pace as you're walking in Gears of War.
I could see that. Yeah.
Like obviously when you're a squid form, you're a lot faster, but like just take away the
but
squid.
in Gears you get to run, remember?
Yeah, you do the roadie run, yeah. But like speed wise, obviously it feels a lot different, but just the movement of the character, it does feel a lot like Gears.
The ink simulates all the bloody jibs.
Yeah. No, and I'm happy it's reviewing well. It's doing well. Hopefully it finds an audience because, Max sort of alluded to this. I'm just positive on now. I just want everybody to enjoy whatever games it may be. Yeah. If you love Evolve, go love Evolve. If you love this, go love this. It doesn't matter to me, man. Have fun. Splat.
Splat. You're a kid, you're a squid. You're a kid, you're a squid. Guys, we're going to be working on a remix version of the podcast, the Can't Stop Playing podcast. We'll all dress up like squids.
Yeah.
and it'll be epic.
Some people have those hats. I don't know where they got them, but I'm very jealous. Like those squid hats. I don't know if you've seen any of those. Like on
Aren't
Instagram
they for sale? Like at Toys R Us? I'm pretty sure I saw them today.
Man.
Toys R Us.
Man.
I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm crazy.
I'm going to Toys R Us, I guess.
They had
after
these
this.
really cool double-sided posters that you had to like pre-order to get. Those.
Yeah, and now that we talked about Splatoon, I want to talk about the real best game of me. I know you quit, Max, for The Witcher. Zach hasn't touched it. Scott, have you?
Yeah, I'm still running for it. I love it. I think it's an awesome game.
Yeah, I think so.
Wait, so Zach has basically quit as well?
I haven't quit. I was out of town, so I don't know if that really qualifies.
Yeah, no, I didn't say you quit. I said you haven't touched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say this because some people tweeted at me because I said something about Gwent last week. I said Gwent is stupid. I said Gwent makes no sense.
Yeah, people are coming around on it now.
Yeah. I spent like maybe 5 hours a day playing Gwent.
What the?
Not every day, but you know, I like
how
every other day.
What I'm curious about, and this happened with Destiny, how do you go from thinking something stupid and not good to liking it? Is that just a case of like I have this game and so I'm gonna play it and?
No, I give it a chance.
Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe he just misunderstood the mechanics.
Yeah, because last time when I said Gwent's stupid, I had played it twice, right? I lost the first time because I didn't know what the hell was going on. The instructions, they were too much for me. Then I played one more time, and I was like, no, this is still stupid. But then I said, no, there has to be something to this. Like, they didn't just put this in here just because. So I sat there and I learned the deck building. I learned the different types of decks you can have, and collecting the cards is actually something that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, it's a collectible card game.
I will get every Gwent card in that game if it kills me. And it's just fun.
Wow.
Like there's actually some strategy to it. Like, believe it or not, like I wouldn't say it's as good as Hearthstone. Obviously.
People have been saying it's better than Hearthstone.
Some people are saying it is. I'm gonna get there's a real Gwent set that you can purchase. I'm gonna get that and we just play in real life. Like Gwent is actually very cool. I like it.
Cool.
I like how Gabe keeps trying stuff. I'm just like, if it doesn't click with me, I'm just like, nope, I'm done. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Gabe's like, I'm gonna give it another go.
Yeah. I always give stuff another go. Because that's
good.
Because
then
I was with you guys on the whole Destiny thing, right? Because I'm like, no, like Destiny is really dumb, but then you give it another chance. Because for me, I like to understand why something is popular. I don't like to just accept its popularity.
What about drugs or ketchup?
I won't try either of those.
He's not even going to try to figure out the fact that it's popular.
You guys can keep those.
It only applies to video games.
Yeah, it really does. Video games and movies.
Yeah.
No, but
what about you, Scott? Have you been enjoying?
I've been really enjoying it. I've got quite far into it now as well. I'm trying to follow basically the main quest for now because I keep getting so distracted. But I do tend to like exploring the map is massive. I think it's the second world or whatever you want to call it. It's just insanely big. It just goes on forever. But I do find that the land is very flat as well, which I think is a slight. It's got a few like odd little hills and stuff, but it's not like Skyrim. Skyrim? Yeah, Skyrim. Skyrim's like really, really high up, and this one's very. Stuff, it's like a flat land. But
what level you at?
13, 14. I think.
Yeah, I'm right there too, but I'm doing only side stuff still. I hate I don't know what it is. I don't like seeing those stupid question marks, so I need to go take care of all of them. and it's preventing me to continue with the story because I can, but these damn side quests and these damn question marks, they must be taken care of. I'm having a great time with it.
Awesome.
And the good thing about this is that I can turn on a podcast and just go kill.
Yeah, you see, this is the problem that I had is that like when I play this kind of game, I want to be invested in the story. And I just couldn't get into it. Like, I kept trying, and the story didn't grab me. So, like, you see this, like, I can't play an RPG and listen to a podcast. Like, I need to listen to all the cutscenes, understand...
Oh, I'm not going through cutscenes.
Well, like
not yet. Yeah.
I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, I need to be completely enthralled in the world, and I don't know. It just didn't hook me.
I feel like the story has a lot of filler in it as well. Like, there's a lot of, like, stuff in between, like, that seems to want to flesh it out and make it longer.
Yeah.
Where I think it could be a little bit more...
Some of those side quests are so long. Like, I'll think it's something so short, right? Like, oh, we're just trying to find this one piece of information that you're going to help me. But then that turns into, like, 4 more things. And
look at Zach's face right now. He's, like, preparing a master plan. His face right now looks like he's just, like, just to describe to those of you that are just listening on the podcast, he looked like he was preparing this barrage of arguments against The Witcher. Like, you could almost see his face just like, and then I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to say this.
And here's how you can see, you know, just how different we all are, right? Because you guys, Zach has this, like, crazy love for Evolve and Splatoon, right? And I have this crazy love for The Witcher. He's trying to attack me, man. Why are you trying to attack me, Zach?
I haven't even said anything yet.
Max told me you want to attack me. What's up with that?
No, I don't know if he was attacking you. It just looked like, as you were saying, like, these things are so long. I could just see his eyes light up. He's like, yeah, but why is that a good thing?
I was thinking about Mass Effect 2, which is probably my favorite of the open world. Well, it's not really
Mass
open world.
Effect is an open world.
Okay, but of the dialogue-driven, story-driven Western RPG. Okay, and why I really like that is because the quests there I felt had. My completion of them, besides rewarding me like, oh, I get to go see this character or see this place, my completion of them was building towards something, and I felt like I was partaking in a pretty monumental piece of a bigger puzzle. When I play The Witcher, and again, I'm only level 6, so whatever.
Oh, wow, so I haven't got further than you. Wowzers. That's
so
surprising.
what I've played, I feel like I am an errand boy running around lost in a land, and my monumental moments should, to me, be like the boss battles, which I feel the ones I've played, 3, the Griffin, the Golem, and the Wild Hunt Knight, or whatever his name is. He like has an energy
He's annoying.
shield.
Oh, yeah.
All that happens is dodge their attack, mash, mash, mash. Then they heal. Dodge their attack, mash, mash, mash. Then they heal, and you have to try to mash, mash, mash more times than you dodge, 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 so that you can destroy them before they heal, heal, heal. And I don't know where, like, what I'm supposed to be, like, working through what I would consider more slow-paced content for. Maybe it comes later in the game. Maybe there's some epic change, but I don't... The loot isn't it. The combat isn't it. I don't really have a sense of why I would invest my time doing all this stuff, because I guess I don't feel like I need to. There's not like a pull for me, and maybe it's just I don't gel with the medieval stuff or the Witcher themes, but I appreciate the writing, for sure. I appreciate the world building, but...
The world is amazing. I love this world.
I think the open world, like Scott touched on, is pretty darn bland. I don't think
it's bland. I said it's flat.
Okay, flat, bland. There's not a lot to do, basically.
Flat, bland, same thing. Come on.
And I just don't get what the incentive... Like, maybe it's just a completionist thing, but I don't... Like, Gabe, when you say that, I don't know what your incentive is to clear these points except to get a check mark.
First of all, that's a great check mark.
Okay.
Second of all, some of those side quests lead to the greatest reward, which is sex. No, I'm joking. But I have had sex with 2 people now.
You could do that in real
By
life
the way,
as
he
well.
wasn't
when you don't have to
joking,
play
guys.
this
He
game.
wasn't joking.
No, I'm fully joking.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I just wanted to get a rise out of people. But I did have sex twice now in this game.
Wow,
so there
exciting.
is sex confirmed because last week...
Was that really worth all your hours of side questing to have a awkward virtual...
Is that the one you eventually kill afterwards as well? You have sex and then like 5 minutes later you kill her.
Whoa, that's pretty brutal.
It's a wild night for sure.
No,
That's interesting.
I have like really sick armor now that I really like. My girl
Speaking of armor, 90% of the armor in this game sucks. Like,
Absolutely.
can we agree on
They
that?
must have
Like,
taken
for those
notes
of
from
you that even
Destiny.
love it. Like,
Fully.
I can't stand the fact that the best armor looks like I'm a clown, like I'm a
Yeah,
Joker
you're
jester
an
of some sort.
You're an overstuffed clown. Like,
Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing, Geralt? Let's go get some.
The first
cool
bit of
stuff.
armor is the best armor to get in the game so far for me. The
Yeah.
intro
No,
armor.
I got some really cool one. It's red. It nice and fitted. Geralt doesn't look like he just ate too much.
Does it
it's
have
long.
striped design on it? Because like
No,
all the
hell
ones
no,
that I
no,
found
no.
had like striped things on it. I'm like, just give me some metal armor. It's medieval times.
No, my armor looks super cool, and my weapons are now like very cool as well.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah, I like The Witcher a lot. And contrary to what Zach says, I think there's a lot to do in this world. And if the world doesn't grab you, if the stories don't grab you, that's fine. Like if these little bite-sized stories aren't for you, and like you're not into it, that's okay.
I would just rather read a book at that point.
Go read a book. No one's stopping you.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm just
I mean,
saying.
I
like-
just think again, it's a very different experience to Mass Effect. Like, I think again, like what I said last week, I think maybe you and I we just prefer much more of
Yeah,
a
it's a
action
preference, yeah.
driven more than the RPG elements, and this is much more focused on RPG. And Mass Effect was different in terms of the narrative because you had. Most of the time when you did side quests, it was side quests that involved people that stayed with you to the end of the journey. Here, it seems like a lot of the side quests are people that you meet along the way, the journey, and they
some
kind
come
of
back.
come in and out of the story, but they don't stay with you, at least from what I've played. Like, I don't know if it's the same for all the way throughout. But it seemed to me like most of the storyline was, again, fitting to his persona of a Witcher, which is to be like basically a glorified like hunter. And it's just to go do these kind of like hunter jobs for a specific task. Like whether either you're hunting some sort of monster or evil, or you're hunting down to find somebody.
I think it's that, and I'll get to you in a second, Gabe. I think it's that in combination with, if you look at something like Skyrim or Fallout, the Bethesda RPGs, when you go in side quests there's so much room for expansion within your character that I feel like it's very rewarding to do that. And not only because you get the cool side story or come upon a silly character or maybe a really creepy building, but you also are progressing yourself in a way that feels substantial, and the things you do are helping build your character. Whereas I feel like The Witcher, it's like +2 to my fast attack, and I get some really ugly armor and a sword that has +8, but I just don't feel like you say RPG, but I don't feel like the things that an RPG should do well, it's even doing well. I feel like it's a great story game, but I don't know where the RPG. I mean, you start off with what, 1 skill slot, 2 skill slots? You can't even.
Yeah,
that's like,
dude, I have like 8 now.
Yeah, but what is the point of side questing? And at a certain point, Gabe, don't you worry you're going to be so over leveled that they already said the back half of the game is easier than the front half?
Yeah, I don't worry about.
You're
that.
fine if you just slice everyone's heads off all the way through.
Yeah. I feel a bit too strong now in my one. I'm level 13, and the one I'm doing at the moment is level 7.
Yeah,
I'll just go.
I'm having some of that too, but none of that worries me. I'm stronger than I should be for now. That's okay.
It's fine if you just kill everyone in one bullet.
So.
Yeah, like, he's a Witcher, man. He's supposed to be a strong dude.
Also, I've heard the story. If you played the previous 2 games and read the books, apparently you get a lot more premise of like who Yennefer is and stuff.
Yeah,
so
yeah, but to be fair, like, you see, this is
I'm not
the
doing
thing.
all that.
Yeah, this is the thing. It's like they're trying to sell it as a new Witcher anyway. Like, they removed the 3. Remember, it used to be a 3. Now it's just a claw mark. But it doesn't like it. They even when they talk about it, they say the Witcher Wild Hunt. They don't say Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. So I feel like they're trying to pitch it as a new game. So I feel like that's an unfair thing to like criticize, because like, look, if I want to dive into this franchise, like, okay, if you want to keep it to just this core group of you that want to play it, sure, play it. But how are you going to get more fans to try out your game?
All right, and now the most important question of all, and the question I want to pose to the listeners.
Here we go.
Is I want you guys to either write in or leave it in the comments. Like, are you going Triss or Yennefer? That's the main.
You can go for both, can't you? But it goes.
You can, but
do you have to kill them after?
No.
So is this decision basically like red hair or black hair?
Wait, no. What sort of?
Zach, are you really trying to get more hate this week?
hold on. I just want to know what people are. I just want to know.
All right.
Who do people like more? I'm a Yennefer person myself.
I think Ciri is the best character in that game.
That's
Geralt and Ciri. That's who we're shipping. OTP.
No.
Geralt
They don't need to be together. They have a mentor type thing, like student relationship.
Yeah, that's the most interesting. Then it can turn into something.
That's the most creepy.
Triss or Yennefer are the only options. We're not doing all this other creepy stuff.
Yeah, I don't want them to be like love interests.
What about
Geralt
and Vesemir fanfic?
I've actually seen him for a while.
Imagine how interesting my version of The Witcher would be. All right,
it would be like Splatoon Squid Kids.
I would be,
and some random monster running around in circles.
Yeah. Hey, the Evolve battles are a lot more involved than the.
Get into that. Go ahead.
Let's talk about Evolve real fast. They released an arena mode. I think it is an ideal companion for hunt mode, which is sort of a drawn-out hunt the monster and then fight. In burst, arena mode is like, boom, stage 2 monster, drop into a dome, 4 hunters, go to work, best 2 out of 3. They got this really slick, like, Marvel vs. Capcom-esque interface. They're like, battle 1, ready, fight, and like, these cool graphics come on. It's so cool! It's so cool.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just find it funny because like, that's the part that you're trying to sell is the pre-match announcement of the match.
After the match, they got these 3 bars, and if the monster wins, the left one lights up red. If the hunters win, the right one lights up blue.
Zachary, you stop that. You stop that.
Listen,
none of that matters.
Beautiful presentation in UI is a overlooked thing. Think about the presentation in Assassin's Creed Unity and how much that game blew because they couldn't present it well.
Yeah, look, people talked about Persona's 5's trailer, remember?
The menus are hot shit in that game. They are.
No, you were just talking shit about the Witcher menus last week.
Because the Witcher menus have text that's like this small, I can't even see it.
Get some glasses. I
Get a
can see
bigger
them perfectly.
screen.
Whatever. So evolve. Like the cool part is that you can switch your monster abilities between the rounds.
No, the cool part is the menus. We made that.
Wait,
clear.
Did Zach just write the review for the arena mode? Evolve, arena mode. The menus are hot shit. Is that it?
But no, you can change your abilities between rounds,
okay.
which I think is pretty awesome because it adds a strategic element that you can react to the hunter choices. So you don't know who the hunters are going to be pre-match, which has been one of the issues they've had with that game, is that there's certain pairings that, you know, fare better. This way, you have some mid-match way to kind of modify your loadout and be like, all right, because of this guy, I'm going to, you know, modify here. And I think that in an ideal world, this mode being included on the original disc would make that game look a lot more appealing. Now, it is free for everybody. You can get this for free, and I don't know, you know, how long it took to develop, but Nest mode and some of those other modes that kind of got forgotten very quickly, Hunt and Arena would have made two really strong modes that offered you the best of what that game has, and so it's kind of sucky that it's not in there now, but I really like it now, whether or not, you know, there's enough people to play it.
Yeah, and that's a problem. Everybody probably traded their game in already. And
Did anybody else
have.
play it? I didn't get a chance to play it. Did you guys?
No, I didn't.
And a new Glacial Behemoth skin. He's glowing blue.
Stop trying to sell the skin.
And again, and this is the same thing. The Witcher, right? Oh, your armor is a different color.
Yeah. If Gary, Uncle Gary, if he glue blue, I would be all over that.
Well, then the Botchlink should be your favorite character.
My Geralt is now crimson red.
Yeah, but it's like a doll, like he's got some tassels. It's not like he's glowing and pulsing with like rock veins and lava spewing out of him. Man, those signs.
He's got
Geralt is the stupidest wizard I've ever seen.
He's not a wizard.
And out comes like 5 flames. Come on, man. If a dragon did that,
first of all, upgrade
kill him and throw him in the
Second of all,
dump.
he's not a wizard.
Okay, well, yeah. Well,
You're a wizard, Harry.
does his Igni get better? Does he start launching fireballs when you level it up?
But not fireball.
Nope. It doesn't look any different, does it?
A little bit. A bigger area of effect. Stuff like that.
But he goes, pew.
Yeah, but you're talking about something that's purely cosmetic.
Yeah, cosmetics are important. Didn't you hear what I talk about the menus? Presentation is big. Half the reason I like Splatoon is because it's visually appealing. I'm eating that thing up with my eyeballs.
Yeah, I'll agree.
All right, here's my dream. I want the Witcher team and every team at Ubisoft to go and sell their IP
every team.
to Nintendo so they can merge their gorgeous mechanics and style with some cool worlds and characters, and now we will actually have a bunch of really good games.
So that Geralt can be hitting people with a rubber.
No, he can still do his thing, but they'll actually know how to make him control like a modern video game instead of something that feels like it's, you know, Disney on Ice from 1993.
Imagine a Witcher made by Nintendo, right? The sex is going to be a castle with like little hearts coming out of it.
Hey, that's implied. Implied stuff sometimes is more attractive than shown, just to let you know. As we get real deep here.
Getting a bit deep here, aren't we?
That's your psychology segment for the week, guys.
The love hour with
Zachary's tips for love.
Exactly.
I will say this. Wow. I will say this. We complain about the state of video games a lot, right? I'm happy that we can have Splatoon and The Witcher both come out in the same month, for completely different audiences.
Yeah, and it's interesting how we literally split down the middle. Like, I think me and Zach would decide with Splatoon as being the better game, which, here we go. Here comes the hate. Here, I can feel it. Wow, I could even feel that. Oh, that's a pretty good insult right there. Well done.
See, and to address those people, those of you that want to spew hate because someone likes Splatoon more than The Witcher, what are you doing with your life? Like, well, how good is your life that you could just come on the internet and be like, oh, you suck for, like, who cares? Let them like Splatoon. You can like The Witcher, and it doesn't take away anything from the game. And that's what I wish people would understand more. Like, we don't all need to agree. Like, wait, I don't even know what I said there. We don't gotta all agree to be cool and like be friends and be happy. Man, the games are so different and they scratch like such a different itch, and you can play both of them.
I think Zach slightly overrates Nintendo, just a tiny bit. Let me know in the comment section below if Zach overrates Nintendo.
It's really hard to overrate games that gets 9 out of 10.
To Nintendo to make it more modern, or whatever you said.
I think that Nintendo. I think of all the development teams, first-party Nintendo studios are the most proficient game makers alive. In terms of mechanics. Who would you say?
Well, you see, mechanics maybe,
Yeah,
but that's
mechanics.
just one component
Yeah,
of
for
the
sure.
game.
That's all I was saying. That's why I said bring these epic worlds and stories from these other companies
Sure,
and let
yeah.
Nintendo do the mechanics so we don't have...
Yeah, I mean, mechanically, they certainly are. But you see, the other issue here is that Nintendo only has made a certain type of game, which is why I find Splatoon so exciting, is because it's a different genre of game. Whereas before this, Nintendo has really stuck close to platformers and kind of things that are very similar and kind of like Venn diagram overcross in that category. And now they finally did something very different. So, and they proved that they can do that as well. So, yes, could they do that? Maybe, but I don't think that they've executed exceptionally well on all genres. So we don't know if they would be successful in doing
they refuse
an RPG
to do story
on this scale or anything like that. So.
Like, what's the last good Nintendo story? Like, really? Like, I love Zelda. I love it. But story is not their strong suit.
Do you remember in Mario Sunshine when Peach was going on vacation and Toadsworth came with her? They flew down to Isle Delfino, all right? Bowser talked in that game, by the way, voice acting in a Mario game.
Did Bowser
Was it
talk?
good voice acting?
Was that when they found out that Bowser Jr. is like the kid between Bowser and Peach or something like that?
Yeah,
Which is so weird. That is so weird.
A little bit odd, but, we're accepting of all.
It's a lot odd. When you look at Bowser and then you look at Princess Peach and then you say this plus this equals this?
We don't know what's under that dress.
It looks painful, to be honest.
Zach, move us on.
There's
please.
your Witcher game, guys.
Yeah, I'll leave that comment for my own head to mull over about The Witcher. Has anybody played anything else besides The Witching and Splatoon?
That Hatred game. That was
Tell us about that.
I almost played it. Almost.
Yeah, so big controversy on that game, right? Explain to us why, Scott.
Basically, it's visually disturbing. Basically, what you go around and basically create your own mass grave of innocent people. That's pretty much what you do. And you see like executions. So it goes. It's pretty much like a 2D, like over the top almost. But you go into like a 3D quick look, and it's sort of just executing someone to the face, or stabbing them in the heart, and it's a bit odd. It may be stepping the mark a little bit too far. But then again, you can probably do this in GTA if you want to. So it's I don't know. It's a tricky one to judge.
But this is so stylized. Like, this is so brutal. I've seen the gameplay. I got a code for it, but then I didn't want to do gameplay just to do gameplay. You know what I mean? Like, because I have no actual interest in playing the game. Because you can correct me if I'm wrong. Like, there's no real story or anything, is there? You're just some dude that likes.
No, he's just generally angry with the world. Like, he's really, really annoyed. So he just has grenades and just throws them at people.
I heard if you load the game up, you're automatically locked out of heaven.
Wow, that's pretty dark. That's
Let me guess,
one of the
Nintendo
best things you've ever
improves your
said,
chances.
Zach.
What if Nintendo did Hatred?
No. Scott, like, did you feel like this should not have been made? Did it ever, like, come across like, you know what, this really just isn't what games should be? Or do you think it's okay?
Annoyingly, it has some interesting like ideas, and the way they've done it is actually does work quite well. But it's just the theme and stuff. It's just done on purpose to sort of create that sort of media attention. Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically. And it doesn't. It's just you can tell it's just been made for that reason.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the game is successful technically because there is this big.
It will sell well. People.
Yeah,
watch
it got banned off of Twitch, right?
Yeah. There's this big like it's just jarring. And something that's jarring is always going to get the attention. And it, provokes comments like Zach just said. Like, hey, if you load this game, you're not going to have it. Like, it's just a game, really. Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, you see the argument of, like, it not being made. I feel like that's a little bit, like, weird. Because, again, you get to that weird territory of, like, freedom of expression and blah, 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 blah. Like, you get
well, they're not expressing a whole bunch with the game.
Yeah, so that's the issue. It's like, I don't know what the game is in terms of context. From what I understand, it basically, like, look, let's be honest. A lot of what people do in a lot of GTA games is pretty similar to what
exactly the same,
right? So it's just that the context there is very different. It's like that's not your motive here. That's the main
the motive is to kill innocent people.
Yeah,
like just on the way in the bus stops, in the supermarkets, in banks, in like anywhere. They just come and you just shoot them all. That's the goal, which is just a bit.
One thing I was wondering, and I don't know because I'm assuming you spoke with them to get the code, right?
I said, can I have a code? And send me one.
I don't think these developers are like terrible people or anything. Like I think I'm sure there's nice.
Do you get a sense though that like the industry would be better off if that kind of stuff is stamped out?
No.
So like you're okay if they made a game and whatever's important to you was being brutally torn apart. A game about ripping dogs in half, pulling their intestines out, eating them. You're like, freedom of expression. You're cool with that.
I won't play it.
Like a game about, you know, going and stabbing your own mother, like that's all good with you. Like it's all cool.
I don't know. It's weird. You see, because again, it's one of those things. Like, if I'm never gonna play it, that doesn't mean that it warrants it not existing for somebody that may want to play it. Like, again, I don't know.
Why are we catering to those people?
I know. Like, I'm not saying, but I don't feel like I'm the judge that should be like, you know, curating.
Yeah, no,
like
that's where I sit.
Yeah.
Like I said, I got a code for it too. And I was going to make a video on it, but then I said, hey, I don't want to play this game. So I just didn't play it.
Yeah, you got a text message from Zach. He's like, don't you load it in, bro.
I guess I just feel like with the way our world and society are going, I would like to see somebody take a little bit more responsibility. Like I feel like they used to do. Content these days, like I understand freedom of expression. That's great and beautiful, but
I feel like, look, if you look at music and film, there's lots of that happening, like, as well, right? Like, every now and then you'll get some sort of controversial indie film or a controversial song or something that has, like, explores some themes that are very, very kind of taboo. But
Witcher 6.
I don't mind taboo. I mind brutal.
Dude, half the games we play are brutal.
Yeah, but again,
Like,
you see, like I said, like if you look at stuff like Hotline Miami and GTA,
Which I thought was incredibly insensitive.
yeah, I agreed with you. Like, again, but you see, that's like our opinion. It doesn't mean that those games don't deserve to exist. Like, again, we may think that they are unnecessary, but I don't feel like I'm like
and
judge.
I get told constantly how like I'm a positive person and all this, but I love Hotline Miami. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't like make a person just because you like, you know, playing this game that has these things in it. They're bonkers and nobody should do them in real life.
Sure, and I'm not saying you will. I'm just saying there never comes a point where you like are looking at the trend of stuff and like this is going a weird route.
This isn't a trend. This is there's not a lot of games like that are doing this just for the sake of just to get a rise out of people, because
I think then it wouldn't have gotten the attention. If there was lots, then it wouldn't be the one that we talk about.
Yeah,
I mean, Hotline Miami, GTA 5, and Hatred all came out within a couple months of each other.
Those are all very different from each other,
and they all allow
I think
you
the game
brutally...
industry would be a very different place about GTA. It'd be a lot weaker as well. So I think you can't just say, oh, GTA
not every game can be Ink, Zach.
Man, that's not what
I'm joking, but I don't like see, because I don't care if this game exists. I just won't play it. And to me, it doesn't exist.
But I would care. I want GTA. So if someone sort of says, "No, you can't do this, can't do that," and then I'd be like, "Well, I want to play GTA."
I guess I just do not possess the primal instinct to brutally hurt people that most people possess or something. I don't know. Like,
I don't got it either. Won't stop me from playing a game though.
Yeah, but like, just because there is a wide range of games between kids and squids and Hatred. Right? There's a huge level of gradation, and I don't know why. Like what is the in the pitch meeting for Hatred, right? Are those guys genuinely? Are they genuinely excited about like I can't wait to like do the art assets for blowing people into pieces and like this is going to be so cool. I mean,
I think they're more excited to have this reaction.
I'm quite alive and extraordinarily well, Geralt of Rivia.
And you don't think that that's kind of scummy?
And now that you've seen me,
maybe
I bid you farewell.
Wait, don't play the game. Don't deal with them.
So you're not going to pass any criticism or judgment or anything.
I haven't played it.
Not only it's got some interesting mechanics as well. Like it does fundamentally it's actually an okay game.
Is it like a first person or what is it?
No, it's top down.
Isometric.
Oh, okay.
Got every
But
right
it works
to
like
be
I
angry
got in
at
like a
your
car,
father,
for
but he's
example, and I
worried
just
about you.
ran straight through a building, and it's like the destruction was good, the explosions were pretty cool as well. It's just like, why did you do it in that theme for? Like it's just.
Well, I just think that if they did it in a different theme, I think it wouldn't have gotten the attention that it has, right? Because it's almost like putting it in that context, create all this ruckus of like, hey, look at this game,
Yeah, and I generally don't get a lot of hate on the podcast, but I might get a hate. I might get hate for this.
That's clear.
Like, people need to stop being so sensitive. Like, in my opinion, like everything is getting so hypersensitive. You can't do anything these days without having it become an issue. Like, you can't have a story about a woman being beat because then all of a sudden you're misogynist. Like, you can't have a story about mass killings because then all of a sudden, oh, don't do that. Like, why not? Like, who are we to say that?
Because look at the way the world goes and society goes and the influences that are placed. At some point, you don't feel like I know that you're
Did you
mature
really
enough and
come
smart
all
enough
the
to
way
make
here
your own
just to tell
decisions
me
and
that?
handle yourself, but you don't ever feel like there is a societal
Before I
obligation,
agreed to
especially
live
for
with you,
younger
your father
children,
told me his version
to
of events.
Well, they shouldn't be
guide.
playing hatred.
yours.
Well, they shouldn't
Yeah,
be, but
it's an adult-only
It's
game.
dull
Like,
as life
they
and
rated
it's
it
the swamps.
adult-only.
I know,
No, but I mean, like, that's the
My earliest
responsibility of
memories
also
are
the
of a
parents,
drunk
like,
Yeah, you
supervising
go with
what
the parents on
content
that.
does your
In
kid
my
you don't think though that there's any
Next
responsibility
dozen
for
years,
society
pretty
as a
much the
whole
same.
though to
Oh,
shape.
sure.
Father
Like,
would
look,
drink,
you could say.
disappear for days,
I
then
don't think
come
there's
home
anything
in a
wrong with
rage
you
and
saying,
say,
I don't
"Furniture
think this game
flying."
shouldn't exist. Like,
Thank
but
the
I
gods
also,
for war. I
as
was
much as I
glad every
respect
time I
that,
listened
I
to
think
him.
that
Yeah.
it's
And
fair
that's
for
also
somebody to
cool.
say that it should exist.
remember
So,
him
so that's what I'm saying. Like, I
The
don't have an
thuds as
issue with
he
you saying
beat her,
it shouldn't
then her
exist because, again,
sobbing.
I'm never going to play it. I
I'd
didn't even
hide
know what
under
it
my
looked
bed
like.
and
I just
long for
know, like, the
silence.
name
That's the
and
long and short
what
of
came
it.
along with
Multiply
it.
by 19,
Context,
and
yeah.
there you
Yeah,
have my
so-
mom.
Yeah, I mean, remember, like, you know,
Finally, we'd
stuff
had
like
enough.
Columbine and, you know, insane stuff that happens in
Crossed the line
society.
and we fled.
Like, everybody wants to blame it on something, right? Sometimes it's just
Wojtek
people being
claims your
people.
mother had
You know what I mean?
strange
Like,
marks on her
there's
hands,
inherent evil in the
and a
world. This is
monster
just
dragged
getting
her
way
into
too
the
deep
woods.
for this
Is that true?
for this show,
We were
but
riding towards
like,
the
it's
river.
not like they wanted to
Suddenly,
blame
Mum
Columbine
cried out,
on
bent
like
over, almost fell off
rock
her
music
horse.
and video games,
I
and I don't
rode
think
up to
that's
her and saw
what made this
something
happen.
strange.
No, but at
Just
the same
like I
time,
don't think that this isn't going to create any serial
then
killers
that
in my mind.
no, but at the same time,
Leapt from
like
the woods. I don't know
again,
what
we
it
can
was, but
leave
it
this
roared
topic.
so
But if
fierce,
you are,
my nose bled. I
if
saw
someone
it
is
topple
surrounded
trees.
and
I've
raised in
never
a
been so
culture
scared
of
in my
positivity
life.
and love and kindness, that is going to breed a
That
totally different person than someone that
thing
grows up
grabbed
around
my mum
GTA and
and
hatred. It
disappeared
just
into
is.
the
Like
woods.
that's just.
I wanted to turn back, go
But
after them, but
I grew up
the
I've
horses
playing
panicked.
GTA and violent
so
games.
have
I don't feel like
Now I
I'm
don't
some
even
sort
know
of
if she's
it's changed
alive.
me as a person. It depends on the like. I guess it kind of depends on like the family around you and stuff and who you associate yourself with.
Yeah, in your real world.
Yeah. And that's what matters, the real world. So,
But then again, this game, like I said, this game is an
I know your
adult-only
mother had a
game.
miscarriage.
No way should a
He's
kid be playing
doing.
this. If
He
they are,
shoved
then
her. She fell. That's how it
I
started.
don't even know where it's available.
We were
Like,
alone.
You know,
No
I got a
one to
code from the
help.
developer
Blood
Sony to do
everywhere.
It's on
It's on
Steam,
Steam,
right?
that's
They didn't
it.
let it. Steam
Worst
did
night
not
of my
let it.
life.
No, it's not on
Sorry.
Steam.
Okay.
Like they
Yeah,
won't
so
allow
you
it.
see, Zach, it's like
For you
it's
both.
getting
Mum was in
like
shock.
It's very blocked off. You
Raving.
can't
It's
stream
better
it.
this way, that she
Like
never wanted
I'm
the
sure
charge.
YouTube is going to be pretty like
Must have had
vigilant
a
as
fever.
far
She
as
was
like, hey,
losing
this
blood the
needs to
whole
have an age
time.
gate, or like,
She
hey,
didn't
there
want the
needs to be a
child.
warning here, or
Said
we're
she'd
taking
sooner
the video
cut open
down.
her guts than
Like
bear
it's
another
not like
child
this is
from
all
the
out there
sea.
like at the level The Witcher is or at the level Splatoon is. Like this is being closed off to a certain section, and if you get past that, like let's hope that everybody that does
What
get
will you
past
do
that has
now?
Find my mum.
the knowledge
You
to say,
realize
okay,
that
this
might
is
not
just
be
a
that
game,
easy.
and this is
Don't worry,
strictly
I'm not
taboo
daft
for the
enough
most
to believe I can do
part.
it alone.
And you know
I've
that's
got
what
some
it
new
is.
friends
I don't think anything.
Powerful friends. They'll help
I don't
me.
think that we have the right to say anything shouldn't exist.
Who are these
You know,
friends?
to each his
It's
own
not a
on
secret.
that front, I guess.
No,
Go
I,
be
I
good
feel
parents.
more good putting up
Heard of
the
the
sex
Church of the
scenes
Eternal
from
Fire?
Witcher on YouTube than I did
A
from
priest helped me
Patreon.
contact the
Yeah.
Danian
YouTube doesn't like as soon as it sees any
Righteous.
boobs, that's like
brave men.
Yeah.
you can't.
They'll
do it.
help
Go be
me.
good parents, everybody. Moving on.
yay. Let's move on.
All right, so
What
two
about your
interesting things
father?
happened this week in terms of
Oh,
news.
him.
One was that 2K has teased a
I
brand new
don't
game.
care.
It's gonna be Bioshock.
I won't go
I'm
back to him.
predicting it.
which I
That bit of my
thought
life.
was going to be Bioshock.
Forgot.
Yeah, Zach.
I
made,
saw
like-
your video and you
well.
seem so happy, Zach.
I know he's so hopeful.
The Witcher.
Yeah, I love
Never
that.
thought
It's
that
like
Baron
they're
the next
teaching
video
this
is
like
Baron.
Advent
Monsters.
thing, which is it's about this futuristic city and they eliminate disease and crime
Glad you
and
know
it's
who I
basically
am.
where
No
I
more
live.
sleeping,
Haven't
right?
introduced
Right,
yourself, though.
no more
Graden,
sleeping, no more
Witch
destiny.
hunter in the
you know.
service of his royal
Everyone plays
majesty
Splatoon,
Radovid of Radovid.
but they talk about like gene
certainly
modification,
heard of us.
DNA splice, and I was like,
Rings a bell.
dang,
The bloody
this
Baron
is
sent
Bioshock.
you to fetch
Bioshock
his
has come out
daughter, you best
2007,
face it.
10, 13, and now 16. Like,
You
let's
will
do
fail
this.
in your task.
And then
I
I
appreciate
had this
your
horrifying
concern,
moment where someone
but I
found
don't
in the
need it.
concept art
As
there
for
is
tomorrow, she can
replicated
make her own
posters that are
decisions.
also in the latest XCOM games. And so I.
Noble of you.
And then bam.
Isn't it a fairly common
killer
thing though
for
to have like
hire,
cross
abandoned
promotion
his
within
bounty.
Yeah,
different
that's
games?
what I
But in
Another.
concept art is where I
The
feel
hunters and the church
wouldn't
of the
do
eternal
that.
fire, thank you.
I wouldn't
So
completely
Baron
give
hired
up
a
on it.
witcher to find
I would
his
say
Yeah, I
it's
wouldn't
more
either.
like 70-30 that it would be before you're just going to get XCOM. But
They
there's
could
still
just
small
be
hope.
trying to trick us. I
Where are
think.
you gonna
Like
take
this
her?
could easily
Companies
be
aren't that
Stressed.
cool, man.
She's had a harrowing experience.
What if you
FIFA
get
is pretty
both?
cool.
What if you end up
When the
getting
warmth of
both?
the eternal fire has
Like
restored
this game
her
is
strength.
both. It's just like
No,
we got.
no. They
Oh,
say,
there are both.
hey, this
Before
is
you go,
XCOM, but
your
we are
father
also
asked me to
working
give
on
you this.
Oh,
Bioshock.
Yeah, that would be.
Of course, they're working on
Clara.
Bioshock. We know that. It's just when
Father
is it
told you
coming?
to
I don't
give
know. I
me
mean, like,
Clara.
there's
Funny
been like
how he thought to buy me back
nothing on
with a
that front.
memory.
Like, we don't know who.
Today-
The last game sold 11 million
No,
copies.
of course, I know they would want to make another one.
Today,
In
like
spite
Scott
of
said,
all, I'm-
they announced that Infinite sold 11
Well, I'm
million
grateful
copies, and
you
that it
gave me a
is
choice.
at the that
Wouldn't
franchise
force
is
me
at the
to go
forefront
back
of
to
their
the
most
church.
important
you
franchises.
know what
One
you're
of their
getting
most
yourself
important
into.
franchises.
Well, then I would
So
hope that they would find somebody
and
that
good luck.
could fulfill that Ken Levine role, because
Yeah.
clearly, at least in my opinion, he was a pretty important guy to that franchise. If we look
Yes.
at Bioshock 2 versus the
I
other.
think Infinite went down as well. I think it went down in quality for me. I preferred the first one, which again,
Yeah,
was behind.
I agree with you.
But,
Yeah. But again, the story, I think that's what he's the most involved on, I would imagine. I don't see him being particularly involved on the gameplay side of things.
You know what? I hope it's XCOM.
God, Gabe.
I mean, how many copies did that last game sell? It didn't feel like a sort of top-selling game.
I think it probably sold.
Which one?
I
The
think.
strategy XCOM? Or the-
Enemy Unknown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it did well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one did do well. I think the other one that was like XCOM
And it was really fun. I like
It's a good
Oh, yeah,
game,
that's
but like
that
go
first
on.
person shooter.
Declassified, was it?
The
That
Bureau
one
is the one
didn't
that sold like crap.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
that's the one that did
did
terrible.
sell. I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
But if you go on like Steam, how many turn-based strategy games are there, and how many Bioshocks are there? Like,
It's hard to believe.
are we really excited about a next-gen isometric?
To be fair, I think there isn't very many
The witch hunter.
turn-based strategy games of the quality of XCOM.
Fair.
And I think that if you just say like from a because you compared gameplay style, there's lots of first-person shooters to play with powers.
There's none that make you feel like Bioshock.
There's none that make you feel like XCOM. Is my argument there.
What does XCOM make you feel like? Click, 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 click. Oh, little alien.
Here comes the pain again in the
Yeah,
comments.
Zach is just. It
Jesus
seems like
Christ,
this
that
week-
comment. What the
Bio-
hell?
This week
Bioshock-
he just wants to throw a lot of softballs for.
Look, I don't have any sisters, but Bioshock made me feel like I had a sister, and I carried that young woman throughout this game to safety and beyond,
Oh, I killed them all.
and learned about so many interesting concepts of time bending and reciprocal, outcomes and multiple.
How was the
universes.
Burial at Sea part 2? How was that?
Yeah, you like that?
Why don't you go finish that off first before you start moaning about this one?
It's
Yeah,
I'm
here's
sorry,
the thing.
Zach.
Even if it isn't you Bioshock, he's still not gonna finish that thing before it comes out.
listen.
You gotta do like a live stream of it and actually finish it.
Listen. Like the deal with that is DLC is hard because once you get out of the flow of a game, you come back 6 months later, 8 months later, 12 months later. It's not
Evolve.
the same.
Well, it gives you an excuse to maybe play the game again.
Yes, it does. And
There you
to
go.
be just
Even though you never do that, but like you could maybe with Bioshock. If there's any game that would make you do it, I would imagine Bioshock.
I could be romantically lifted off my feet once again by one of the greatest games of all time.
XCOM?
romantically lifted off your feet.
I feel so much love when I
anyone has
play.
ever spoke of a game, period, that way.
I feel
What
so
are you,
much
Shakespeare Jr. over here?
love.
See, that's why. No matter how much I disagree with him on his choices of games, he has this fondness for. That's why I can never truly be mad at it, because the love that he gives to these games that no one else. I mean, yes, people care about Bioshock,
Dude, people
but
love
Evolve,
Bioshock.
no one gives two shits about Evolve anymore, except Zach. Like, that's truly special.
I mean, you couldn't find a game like players to actually play against
Hold
on that
up.
new mode. You had to go, oh, I'm going to go with AI.
The reason I did that is because I was traveling.
People can still jump in the game.
Listen. Here's my hatred protest. I'm gonna boil it down into a 30-second story.
Here we go.
I was at the airport. All right. Lots of delays. There were storms all over. Storms in Texas. Storms in Atlanta. Storms in Detroit. Plenty of delays. My flights got shifted later, then shifted back, then shifted later on the runway, then missed flights. Then I was put on standby in a flight in Detroit. It was a 5:30 flight. They're like, you should get on. So many people are missing this flight. 5:30 rolls around. They delay it to 6:30 and tell me that now all the people that were going to miss are now going to make the flight, and therefore I will be missing this flight, another flight, and have to get pushed back to standby for the 7:30. Well, 6 o'clock rolls around. I've now spoken to the fine, nice woman at the desk multiple times,
do you come to
and
me
I
with?
was number 11 on the standby list, and my brother was 14.
Gave Tamara
And I
your
walked back up
gift.
to her and I said, "Hey,
How'd she
is there any
react?
way we can get on this flight? I know what you talked about." And she
Probably
said,
not like you'd have
"Because of your
wanted."
kindness
She threw the
and
doll away.
respectfulness in comparison to other
Really,
people
so why?
today, we are going to jump you
God,
guys straight to the
so
front and get you on this
despite
flight."
all
So,
of
if
It
I
has nothing to do with
if I had been full of hatred and yelling like half the other people at the airport, if I had been brought up on pointless killing in
about
Grand
her?
Theft Auto
Still don't
and
know anything specific,
all of this
but I'm
just
on her trail.
These
vile,
games should not
vile,
make you-
vileness, then I might have been screaming and yelling and thinking about pulling out my shotgun, and instead I calmly reasoned with her, and
You want to say that?
and I was able to board the plane perfectly.
Yeah, but I've played all those games, and I'm still very nice. I think maybe.
But you also are a very Gabe. There's a reason you're on this
Oh, okay.
podcast. We think of you very highly. Like you're a very quality person.
Well, maybe
You're a
I
very
go around the
quality
world.
person.
I've come across this in real life. Maybe It's my fault, but I go around assuming everybody's a quality person. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe I just have blinders on, and I think everybody has niceness in them, and they just don't. But
They do. That's why we have to cultivate it with nice games.
yeah, so Splatoon for the win. What were we talking about?
Talking about Sony coming out and saying that our first-party lineup is quite thin this year, so we're going to be relying a lot on third-party. They also announced this past week that Until Dawn will be releasing in August. We had predicted maybe it gets shifted to the Halloween window. So that leaves like September, October, November, December. We have no idea if they've got anything. Uncharted, I'm not sure if you guys saw this, but either last night or today, Uncharted was listed as they said it will come out before April 2016, so it's pegged now in as Q1 2016, which is great.
I heard the end of March.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. I heard March 20 something.
Same reason.
Which would be cool, but that leaves us with
A lot
of time. And Sony rightfully or wrongfully, I guess, I don't know, admitting that, hey, we don't have a whole lot. Could that possibly be a smokescreen for a secret unveil, or do you really think they're going to go holiday 2015 with nothing?
That'd be so strange. I mean, they don't have nothing because, yeah, and I'm sorry to bring this game up, but Destiny is a big thing for them, and Comet is coming, right? And that thing is going to do well. It's going to
new vendor and a new planet, probably.
Hey, Scott,
Is that a new PlayStation 4 seller, though?
I don't know.
For a lot of PlayStation 4 owners, I think it is.
It's still in console.
No, I mean for non-owners.
Like to acquire new.
Typically,
users.
your exclusives would
I
be to
think that-
lure a new.
You see, I think we've gotten past the whole motif of a system seller. I think what Mario Kart and Smash Brothers proved is that
Those aren't system sellers.
no, but
I think
if there were
Halo
ever
5 and 2
games,
made those system sellers.
That's the reason people buy Wii U's, isn't it?
no. But what I'm saying is like, for example, people argued that once those two games come out, that's when the Wii U is really going to take off. Neither one of them moved a lot of units. Was there more
It
units
did.
sold?
It increased the sales.
No,
but
it
not-
increased, but it wasn't
Slight, so slight.
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, it's 50% increase. It was very, very not particularly substantial, and still hasn't increased units to that regard. So I think maybe we've gotten past that whole motif of, hey, you need one game as this like system seller type thing. I think we just got to a point now where a lot of these consoles really do just live off of what do your friends own, what do they buy, the PS4 or the Xbox One, and that's the one you go with. What is the general populace? Like, PlayStation has a much more positive overall kind of energy around it. And then on top of that, third-party support. And PlayStation has arguably the biggest game of this like modern generation in terms of something that has been introduced just this generation, and that's Destiny. And it has a bigger install base playing there, and has that DLC tie-in and all that stuff. So
Yeah,
I think
if
that
a kid-
really is a big deal, so to speak.
Yeah, and if a kid's been hearing about this cool Destiny
Warts
thing,
and
or not cool
mange
Destiny thing,
sounds
however you want to put
dangerous.
it, right? They're
Fine,
hearing,
I'll
oh,
help you.
my friend really likes Destiny, and there's this new big thing coming
Yeah,
for
and
it.
then they by mistake buy a disc.
Yeah,
Oh,
and,
no.
and then they're level 0 and their friends are level 40, and it takes.
No, it's actually not that hard
6
to level up in
years
Destiny
to-
these days.
How does that
it
make
really
you?
isn't that hard. Last time when I dropped in, I got leveled up like 5 levels. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal this train of thought from the Giant Bombcast.
oh, here we go.
How do you
Here we
feel
got a
when
tree.
you invested
No
all that
witcher.
time leveling your character up,
Restoring
and then a new
traditional
update comes
roadside
out, and now it's
structures
just
in
peachy
wood.
keen
Just not
easy?
my specialty.
Why would you not
Like
wait till the
Amiibo,
next
that's
update
what
and then
witchers
just
call
get everything
them.
super fast? Like
And vandals
at that
are
point, aren't they
worse than
totally
beasts.
devaluing the time and investment you put into your loot, your gear? When now, you can just level up any piece of loot. You
Fine.
can get there
I
super
see.
quick. Like
I think that's going
I'll
to
take
change. I
care
think
of
if you're going to level up
Go out
enough
of my
time,
way, though.
because they will slow
Nothing's
that
out of the
down.
way in these
Why would they
parts.
slow it down?
And the
Why would
gods will
they?
guide you.
Specifically for what Zach just said.
Yeah, but don't
They-
you think that at that point they're already going to be thinking of Destiny 2? So what's the point of slowing it down?
I don't think they're thinking about that. Contrary to Jeff Gerstmann, I don't think they're thinking about Destiny 2 at all.
they're just gonna ride
Not
this
yet.
thing into the ground.
Yeah, they're going to ride this for a while.
They
They
finished this
said-
DLC already.
They
It's
said
like a new
lot of
vendor.
new games, did they not?
Yeah.
Over the span of 10 years. So it's about TikTok. It's about time for them to
It's
next
been
E3
one
announce-
year. They got 2 years to go.
No. But next year they'll probably announce already Destiny 2, and then it'll come out next.
Yeah, but there's a lot of time in between there.
Okay, so maybe system seller isn't necessary, but just like posturing wise and perception wise, is it gonna be weird if Sony's like up there and like we've got Star Wars partnership for this fall? Like
Yeah,
Yeah,
it would be weird.
it's going to be
weapons,
very
too.
weird.
Do politics
You know,
I
I
seriously think
murder
Xbox is killing
high-class
it this year.
Yeah,
They're
they are.
The system sellers. I think Tomb Raider is a system seller. I think Gears of War is a
take a
system
look.
seller.
Maybe
I
pick
think
something.
Halo 5 is a system seller as well. And Sony's got nothing, honestly. Destiny's not gonna.
Wait,
I don't know.
what
I don't think
adventures-
Tomb Raider is
you
a
love your
system
cars
seller.
over there.
I don't
Falls is
think-
coming out. Don't worry, that Falls is massive as well.
I really don't think that, except for Halo 5, I don't think any of those can be considered system
Tomb Raider-
sellers.
Tomb
Like,
Raider
I,
Tomb Raider.
I don't think
exclusive.
anybody's gonna go out and buy an Xbox One for $400 just to play Tomb Raider 2.
I think there might be a few. Yeah, I think there might be a few people that will.
But yeah, if we say a few, that's not a system seller, because you could say that about any game ever. You could say
No, you
there's
can say
going to
that
be
about
some
any game.
people that will buy
Splatoon didn't sell anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I think a system seller, in my books, is a game that moves a lot, that makes a substantial difference in sales. And I think out of those three, Halo is the only one that can do that. And
I think Halo's lost a bit of steam. I think Tomb Raider might even sell more than.
no, I don't think.
I don't think it does
I
that.
don't
I don't
think
think
Tomb
it
Raider
does
outsells Halo. I think that generally what Microsoft needs to bank on is more so the fact that look at our game library for this year. Instead of saying, hey, look at the fact that we have a system seller in Tomb Raider and blah, blah, blah. I think the only one that they could leverage like that is Halo, and then everything else they should just say, hey, look at how much stuff we released, you know? And again, the problem that you then get into is like that chart that you shared, Scott, where you showed that, technically speaking, Sony has had more exclusives this year.
Yeah, a lot more, but
Yeah.
it's not AAA. Like it's not. No, it's AAA, but it's not the multi-selling console.
Yeah. So that's the problem, because it's like could we compare Bloodborne to Tomb Raider?
Yeah. Well, you can equal in terms of quality.
Yeah. So if we start comparing them, I don't really know how. They just don't have a Halo. But then, to be fair, next year Microsoft is not going to have an Uncharted.
Yeah.
So
They have their Uncharted this year.
yeah. So I don't know how much they're gonna get hurt by this. I really don't know. If they really come out and they say we have nothing for September, October, November, and December, there's 0 exclusive games. That would be definitely worrisome. But I doubt that will be the case.
Yeah. I mean, I think, this is so far-fetched that I don't think it happens, right? But I think The Last Guardian coming out, let's say it comes out this year. I think that's all they need for this year. There's so much... There's a mysticism behind that
I don't
game.
even know if that game sells 1 million copies.
Oh, I think it absolutely does, just for the pure fact that it's been this long.
But how many people know about that?
The hardcore audience does, but not the average consumer.
Yeah.
I'd say that I think that game's not even gonna be like a fully fledged game anymore. It's gonna be more of a download title. Honestly, I can't see it coming out and being.
I don't see that.
XMB, you just watch the little guy run across the screen. It's been boiled down to a theme.
No, I think it's going to be very different to anything that we've heard or seen, for sure, if it comes out. But I mean, I don't know. I expect them to have something. They must have at least something. And then, of course, the other thing they're going to leverage is I think that there is a very good chance that they will do the whole thing of hey, we got partnerships with Star Wars, and we're going to get exclusive maps for that. And we've got a partnership with someone else. And
Destiny. And
to be fair, it works for them with Destiny. So,
and
more power
sorry,
to them.
Zach, I know you don't care, but indies, have found a home on PlayStation.
And on Xbox and Wii U.
But way later.
And
But
Steam.
Well, no, I'm saying console. There's a lot of games on Steam that you couldn't play on console till they came to PS4, and then after that they came to Xbox. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, the perception is, I think I agree with that perception that people generally think of indie. Well, that's why it's called the indie station, right?
Yeah, if I want to play Axiom Verge, which I do, I can't play that on any console except PlayStation. I can go to Steam.
You want to play Ori, you can't play that on any console except
Yeah, but
PC.
that's one. Yeah.
I can play it on the PC.
I wonder if Fallout might hook up with Sony as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think they just might.
Especially if EA and Microsoft have something going on as well.
Relationship wise.
Because that relationship went great for Titanfall.
Yeah, that went perfect.
I think they have to have something, whether it ends up being Guerrillas. What are the studios doing? I understand saying exclusives aren't as important anymore. But then what are their studios doing? Because those studios still exist. So
I think maybe the games are not ready. That's what the issue is.
So
what about No Man's Sky? What's happening with that?
Speaking of studios and stuff that you guys don't like all that much. High Moon is now working on Destiny with Bungie. Did you guys hear about that?
I love it. High Moon made those Transformers games that I still think are underrated.
Well, now they're making Destiny content. That's what Activision has them doing.
Another vendor.
I would have preferred for them to make another Transformers game.
Yeah. And who's to say that's not coming? But
it's not coming.
High Moon right now is working on Destiny content, which is strange.
So Destiny is soon going to be the Call of Duty where we're like, we've got this team making this DLC.
No. They're making supplemental team. They're not making the next Destiny. They're just making.
No, I know. I mean, but just like Sledgehammer outsourced map packs to different studios for Advanced Warfare or things like that.
Sure, but I think that's just because there's so much work to do.
Sure, yeah.
Probably they.
There is another Transformers game coming.
Really?
All that armor isn't going to make themselves, Zach. I don't know if you know this.
In what game is this?
Bungie.
Don't they only have like one armor suit? They all look the same to me. Is there only one piece of armor? There's multiple. There's multiple armor loadouts in Destiny.
Yeah, I'm going back on it.
It also has more than 2 guns.
Does it? Oh. No.
I have one ability that you can use, and that's it.
I'm going to give you guys each a code. Well, Zach already has it, but I'm going to give Scott a code. I'm going to give Max a code. Max, I got you one after all.
Oh, thanks.
We'll all play Destiny. Yeah. All right.
Are any of you of the level
so who sent Zach a code for that game?
Who sent the code?
Did they not listen to anything he says?
It's like a troll.
Hey, I never mind, I can't say that. But
yeah, you can't. I was gonna say, man. I was about to say it too. You can't say that.
Yeah. So let's just real quick, like, what do you predict Sony's game is this fall? Because I think it's safe to say they have something, at least one, right? Whether it's Little Big Planet, Stupid, or whatever. Like
Uncharted Collection.
They just had a Little Big Planet last year.
I know. I just mean of that level. Like, hey, we're gonna they have to throw something out there to like bundle with their system or put in the freaking Walmart ad.
Uncharted.
Last of Us.
Collection, yeah.
Oh, collection,
yeah,
okay.
Maybe they'll do an Uncharted collection, and then the other one that I think there is a chance to do maybe some sort of timed exclusive thing is maybe the remastered Batman collection that got leaked. Maybe they'll get a hold of that or something just to be like, hey.
That is desperate times.
I know we all forget about this, but the remastered God of War 3 is coming.
In July.
Though? What's the point?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
God of War 3 is one of the best PlayStation 3 games.
Yeah, but why re-release it on the PS? Well, I'm finished for that game.
Well, it's the same thing as to why they're releasing Gears of War.
And Last of Us. And
Last of Us made a bit of sense because it was so late.
I think Last of Us made sense because, again, like we talked about it, like where I think that a lot of people who have PS4s never owned a PS3 and never had a chance to play Last of Us. So that's
the
why.
same can be said for God of War 3. They never
played
God of War 3. They didn't have a
Yeah, that's fair.
God of War.
Is there no lightning round this week?
Zach?
We can do a lightning round.
Zach, you didn't make a lightning round?
I was
that's
on
my favorite segment.
Is it really?
Oh, here we go, the flight thing.
I was on a plane, man.
Oh, okay.
I was on a plane.
Any funny stories on the plane?
Yes. I got to think of a non-offensive way to say this.
Great.
That's how we are.
Yeah, you don't have.
Is it something to be an American? Is it something to do with like eating too much?
No, people are just interesting. So there was a veteran on the flight with a therapy dog. So he clearly had been through some stuff, and he was very upset about missing his flight. Like very upset, and because it wasn't his fault, which it wasn't. That's fine, but neither was it the people working at the desk's fault. And so he was yelling at them pretty, aggressively, and they took the approach of we're just not even going to look at him. We're going to ignore him and just talk to the people in front of us and not, which is a fine strategy with someone like that. I don't blame them.
I'm not sure about that.
I mean, they engaged him initially. And then just kind of
okay. Because I thought if he's just trying to talk to them and they completely
it wasn't complete
kind
ignorance.
of rude.
And then this is just where humans are such fascinating creatures. Out of nowhere, a woman walks over and tells him to stop yelling. Now, if I was a person observing the situation, which I was, I would not have. Just some people just don't engage. Like, let them do their explosion over there, and whatever. And she got right in between it, and then brought me and my brother into the situation by saying, "Look how calmly these guys are standing here." And I was like, "Oh God!" And then he said he was going to whack her upside the head if she didn't sit down. And then she said, "Fine, punch me," which is another thing I don't recommend saying to someone who's very upset and whatever. And luckily, her husband came and saved the day.
Beat him up.
No, he it was hilarious because he was getting her out of there for her sake, but the dude took it like he was like, "Thanks, sir. Thanks for removing her." Like the dude took it like, "Yeah, like let's get this lady out of here. She was being such a terrible person, getting in my way or whatever." But it was for a second I was like, I thought we were gonna have like a grandpa girl rumble in the middle of the airport. So
how fun would that have been to watch?
You could have filmed it as well, but on YouTube.
Yeah, God, no. No.
You have the weird. I've only flown once in my life, and I saw nothing weird. Everything was completely awesome, and everybody was behaved. Oh, there was this one guy though. He didn't understand the concept of like seating arrangements. So like they called in his group and he just sat in first class like it didn't matter.
Nice.
Like,
That's incredible.
no, and they told him you can't sit there. He's like, oh, why? He's like, well, that's for first class. He's like, am I not first class? And he's like, and they're like, well, no,
You're a second class citizen. Get in the back of the bus.
Yeah. Like that, I mean, it's obvious this guy had never flown. Like he just didn't understand the concept.
That is pretty awesome, though.
Yeah, it was cool. No, and he's like, fine, I'll get out of first class. So he goes back and he just sits in his other place. And they're like, no, sir. Look, if you look at your ticket, like it tells you what row you're on. Oh, he's like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, it was still like a nice. He wasn't being rude about it.
Sure.
He just didn't know.
It was just lost on him.
That's the only weird thing I've seen in my very limited flight.
Interesting. So. Well, we are 14 days away or a little bit more from flying to E3 soon. We got some questions about E3 and about some other interesting topics from our handy-dandy email, can'tstopasking@gmail.com, where you guys can send your questions, comments, advice, concerns.
Tips on what to do with my beard?
Yeah.
I don't know anymore.
Yeah. Gabe's having a beard crisis. I recommended shaving it and gluing it on his head.
Yeah. But then I have to shave my hair. And I've been working very hard to grow out my hair.
Okay. So that's out.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Ethan wants to know.
Is your hair quite long then? Is it long hair or is it quite short?
No, well, no, I had shaved it completely.
No, but take the hat off.
Gabe has this massive fro underneath his hat.
No, like it's regular hair. It's just that I had shaved it all off.
Okay.
Because E3 was coming, and I want to get like a haircut before E3. I don't even cut my hair all that often.
Wait,
really.
so you got a haircut like what, 40 days ahead of E3?
I shaved it.
Okay.
I'm saying, okay, look, if I shave it now, my hair will grow back to a decent size by E3 to where I can have like a regular haircut. That was my turn of thinking.
Makes sense.
Because it was too long and it was too messed up. There was nothing I can do. So I said, okay, I'm going to shave this.
Fair enough.
Then now, but now it's back. And that's cool, but now I need to do something with a beard. And I don't know.
You should
I've
just
been thinking
shave
on-
like The Witcher into it. Just so it could spell out Witcher out of hair. It would look brilliant.
I can do curls on my beard if I like. I have my little sister. She likes playing with my beard sometimes. I don't know why. So she gets little curls, whatever. But yeah, send in tips on beard maintenance to Gabe.
Beard maintenance tips and also Batman. Ethan wants to know what we thought of the whole dual play feature in Batman Arkham Knight, and if we liked the way that it was kind of shifting perspectives, and if we thought that was going to really make a difference for this fourth game. Guess that's a no.
Everyone at once.
I'm staying away from everything Batman, so I haven't seen the trailer or anything. Like, I'm staying away now just because I want some surprises for the game.
Yeah.
So
I don't understand what you meant.
What he's touching on is there is sections of the game where like Nightwing and Batman will be fighting together, and you can press a button to switch over to Nightwing's perspective, fight as him for a little bit. Batman will keep fighting, then you could switch back to Batman.
So basically, it's GTA.
It's co-op with yourself, kind of. Playing with...
No, it's not like GTA. It's more like you're going to be able to like create combos using two different characters, like bouncing enemies from one guy to another, kind of like chaining it even more. So
yeah, and you can't do it whenever you want. It's only very specific instances when they're together.
Yeah. I think there's a reason why it's specific instances. It's probably because it's really hard to get it right. Yeah. So I'm sure that's why they probably kept it to a minimum. I don't know. I mean, like, I'm like Gabe in the same boat in terms of like I'm trying to stay away at this point from like all the reveals. I'm very, very psyched for it. It is though weird how that game has slowly but surely gone down.
Yeah,
like I feel like the
hype's down.
I feel like less and less people are talking about Batman with each.
That's what they get for pushing
day
it back so damn much.
Have you guys seen the 7-minute gameplay thing yet?
I'm not watching.
Is that the
anything.
new one or?
Yeah, that to me, I was like, oh, it looks pretty good, but it looks very, very samey, doesn't it? I'm not sure if you watched it, but it looks very just Batman.
I think that's part of it as well. They've shown a lot of trailers, and all of them look very similar and not
I always
very
find that
distinguished.
comment weird though, like in terms of like when people say it's the same, because then if it was way different, like if all of a sudden they did some way different gameplay,
Oh no, I think the
trailer
so
like different.
I even mean to themselves, like
Oh, like the actual
here's a sweet
trailers
shot
themselves.
of like
Sure.
the Batmobile and Batman jumps out, and like
Yeah.
the next one, here's another sweet shot of the Batmobile. Like they haven't really shown like
but I think there's a reason.
a
for
single
that.
player
I hope
walkthrough
there's
or
a
anything
reason
like that.
for it because
Yeah.
I think at this point they don't want to reveal. Like, look, they've managed to keep it under locks as to who this Arkham Knight is. Still, like that's incredible. By
It's
now,
not the Joker's
By
Knight.
now, you would expect that it
Joker.
would leak.
It's not the
Joker.
I'm gonna predict that it must be with the two squid kids. I think they're standing on their shoulders, and I think
Yeah, I think
that's probably what it is. It's a
What?
crossover.
Wait. What if it's Batman and he's just like staring at himself and he's like, "I am the evil," and then that's the end of the game.
Perhaps like Batman's dad. He didn't actually die.
how
He's
does
still alive.
Superman
That would be
play
cool.
into this? Because I still think we see Superman somewhere in the game.
Oh, you think
Superman.
it's
Probably,
Superman?
maybe.
An Arkham Knight suit?
No, Superman is not the Arkham
Oh
Knight.
yeah,
But
because that would be weird.
yeah, but I'm saying Superman needs to play into this somehow. I think.
Oh, he'll
I
be
mean,
in
I
it.
could.
Yeah. At the end of that game, there is a tease for Rocksteady's next project. I think so, at least.
Yeah.
Joseph writes in with his idea for a Superman game. He said, we've talked a lot about how an OP Superman game would kind of suck, and he thought of a way how they could do it. What do we think of his idea? 1, make it an origin story so Superman starts off as a normal person. 2, make it a game where you're rescuing people and the enemies aren't the main focus, but rather there as a distraction. And 3, make sure it has enemies as powerful as Superman, like General Zod or maybe Doomsday.
Who is this?
This is Joseph.
All right, Joseph. Well, I'll give you 1 for 3. In my opinion, I don't want a Superman origin story, not in a video game. I don't want to be saving people. I want to go up, be Superman. Like I want to like fight stuff.
That's kind of part of his job
Well,
description.
yeah,
is
sure.
saving
Job description.
people. Yeah.
Not if Man of Steel is to be believed. I'm just saying because everybody died,
Lots of
I don't
people
know.
died. But not
and
everybody.
there's not a whole lot of a Superman game is really hard to make. I think it really, really, really hard. Like how many times can you fight General Zod and like Doomsday? Like that's 2 characters, right?
I mean, in the old like Spider-Man games, you'd fight the same dude like 4 times throughout the game, so...
Yeah, but Spider-Man has weaknesses, so it makes sense like that he would like take damage. With Superman, there literally are like General Zod, maybe Parasite, Darkseid, and
I think maybe a Brainiac thing could be cool, but then it's also very weird. How do you do Brainiac in a game?
How about they
Like,
just
it's-
rewrite Superman so he isn't all-powerful?
Actually, they just made him more powerful.
Just kryptonite. Use kryptonite at the right moment.
no.
Just-
But recently they made him like have a weakness where he can like deplete his
Kryptonite.
powers.
Nice.
Like his
Now
powers
he has the solar flare thing going.
But that stuff depletes now his power, right? Where he
Yeah.
becomes vulnerable. So it's he's almost like an Energizer bunny now. Except he doesn't go on forever. He runs out of batteries every now and then.
Jovial Taco writes in with the question of the week saying, Zach, Gabe, and Max, it's Jovial Taco. And Scott.
And Scott. You gotta
Scott.
You guys are doing such a good job. I listen to your podcast all night at work.
thanks.
My question is, if you guys had to invest all of your life's money into one of the main console companies, Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo, what company would each of you choose to invest in? Thanks so much. Keep up the good work. You help me stay
well,
up throughout
Zach,
the
we
night.
know already, so that's fine.
No, Zachary, do not invest in
To be
Nintendo.
fair,
Let him be around.
I think that's from a financial standpoint, that's maybe the safest way to go.
Okay,
In what way is
alright.
it the safest way to go?
I don't think so. I don't
Because-
think so.
Not in terms of console.
No,
like,
because
perhaps in terms of
Nintendo
their,
has
like,
stayed profitable, which means if you invest, you're going to get dividend payments all the
No,
time.
they've been profitable for the first time in like 5 years.
No, but they
Yeah,
pay.
since they
yeah,
raised
but
console.
they're profitable on their goods, and on top of that, like for example, if you're investing in Sony, you're investing in all of their other divisions, which haven't been all that hot.
Sorry, wasn't the question just based on their console, or was it based on the whole?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know
but what does that mean?
what's the
Then
wording?
just buying consoles, like hundreds of consoles, or
Zach,
just
what was
investing?
it? Was it console based, or was it just?
It's just saying, like, if you were going to invest money. So you're like, hey, I've got $1 million, and I'm going to invest in one of these companies to hopefully make $10 million.
Which I do, and which I will.
Well, that's already a mistake. If you have $1 million and your first goal is to go invest in the gaming company, it's
All right, so
Hey, that's what I
in the
wanna do with my
context of the
money.
question, I think
Yeah.
that I don't know, with the talks of like Microsoft leaving the console space and with Sony reporting tons of losses all the time, I feel like Nintendo may be the smart one to go with. And
Well, okay, all right. Again, context, right? Xbox is actually doing great. It's just that Microsoft doesn't want them.
Right.
Like they're gonna branch out and do their own thing. They'll still be fine. PlayStation is the most profitable side of Sony. Really,
Yeah.
it is.
but you're
Even more
investing
than
in
movies.
Sony, you're not investing in PlayStation.
Oh, okay, all right, and then all right, okay. See, so if that's the context of the question, no way in life would I invest in Sony. Like never. Same with Microsoft. I don't want to invest in Nintendo
And
either. Can I just
Nintendo
go buy some
is-
chicken
No,
wings?
I think Nintendo is worth doing it because they're going into the mobile market at the moment. So I think
that's
they're
what
going
I'm saying.
They're going to start
from a
raking
financial
the money.
standpoint, I really think that Nintendo is the most like financially viable one to invest in.
Plus, NX stands for Nintendo Extreme, and that's going to sell a lot of consoles.
Is it?
If that's what it's going to be called, I swear.
I've heard it stands for Nintendo Extinct. That's what I heard.
Oh.
That's what I
Shots
heard.
fired. ladies
Actually,
and
they're
gentlemen.
probably going to call it the Nintendo Cross, but it's going to still be an X, and people in America are going to be like, this makes absolutely no
Are we
sense.
all gonna have to like? Are they gonna teach us to like always say it like this, a cross, and you're gonna have
Yes.
to like kind of like
Cross.
tilt your hip as you
Yeah.
do it, like to be like really cool and like cross your hands. Like that's the
Probably.
only way you have to say it.
Yeah.
Levi writes in with a bit of secret information that may or may not be true, but I'm going to read it verbatim.
I
Okay,
don't believe you, Levi.
so this isn't all confirmed yet, but it's a high possibility. My older brother went on his senior trip to Walt Disney World, but not all of his friends got to sit next to each other on the plane. So he ended up sitting next to a random stranger. This man asked my brother if he played Skyrim. Of course, he said yes, because everyone played and loves Skyrim. Already doubting the truth of this story.
Yeah,
The stranger
yeah.
said they are making a Skyrim sequel, not a new Elder Scrolls, but a direct sequel to Skyrim. The stranger said he would be the voice actor for a character named Bishop. This could all be fake, as I said at the beginning, but I really think this might be legitimate. I want to know what you guys think about this, and if you would be excited for a Skyrim sequel.
I think you should confront your friend and say, "Hey, why are you lying to me? Why would you make something up like this, friend? You are no longer my friend. I will see you later."
I don't know. It's just a weird discussion because like, how do you start? Like, does the stranger go like, "Hey, have you played Skyrim? I'm the character in that game." Like, who brags like that? Like, that's like a whole new level of.
I am
You'd be
Bishop.
surprised.
And also, people that are doing like voice work for like big games like a Skyrim 2 would be like, don't go around to random like strangers
Hey,
that are like younger.
caterers tweeted out pictures of Tony Hawk 5 or 9 or
Yeah,
5. Not
Yeah,
Fine.
Pro Skater
Yeah,
5.
I think they
isn't
tweeted out
Yeah.
the official pictures too, because that game looked interesting.
All right, so no love for Skyrim 2.
We
it?
love
I
you,
would, I
Levi.
would be up for it, but I don't think it exists at the moment.
We just
I
want
think
it's all
Fallout
about
so
Fallout.
bad that nothing else really matters.
I want Fallout so bad.
Yeah, I'm
it's gonna hurt.
really blown away by the hype for Fallout. Like, it's incredible. Like, I think they literally could just announce Fallout 4 at E3, and like 90% of gamers would be happy. Like, if they literally,
I'm not one of those 9%. I'll be fine. That A3.
Yeah, I'm with that.
like nobody, like you don't have to announce any other games. Like, it
I
could
would
just be,
complain.
well,
Well, we know you would.
but I'm just saying, it's really
Yeah.
interesting just how big that game is. I never realized it had such a huge audience.
We have one more email, and it ties into some breaking news that I just found out. Hansi writes in saying, Life is Strange has without a doubt given us some of the greatest moments for 2015 with their exploits in episodes 2 and 3. What have you guys made of the game so far? What are your expectations for the future? Do you think this will hold up as one of the best gems of 2015?
Please don't
Has
spoil
anyone
episode.
played it besides me?
I played episode 2, but please don't
I
spoil.
played
3
episode
yet.
1.
Yeah.
I've played 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, I've played 1, 2, and a little bit of 3.
I heard 3 is a big, interesting twist.
Yeah.
At the end,
You
isn't
know,
it? Something?
I heard there's new powers. I don't know how to play it
I don't
like
know.
fully,
That's what I heard.
but yeah.
I think it's very good. I think it is definitely one of the surprises, and I think that for me, it's interesting to see another company tackle the sort of Telltale style and do it a little bit differently and still be incredibly captivating. And what I really like about Life is Strange is I think that
Life is strange.
life is pretty strange. I like that there's more. I feel like I have more player control in Life is Strange than I do in Telltale games. Like I feel like I'm more at the helm of this journey, and I feel like they do a better job characterizing Max as a well-rounded person, whereas Lee and even Clementine to an extent and some of the other characters feel more like caricatures of like a quality, maybe more than like a. I just think that the building of the believability of the Life is Strange world, outside from the fact that you can rewind time, is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Like they,
Do you like stuff? Does it actually matter? Like what you do though? Does it actually?
Oh,
make
it fully matters.
It is
Yeah,
better.
fully.
Okay.
Yeah, fully. I was the biggest proponent to Life is Strange. I think when it first came out, I was the one pushing it the most, and if I remember correctly, and
Sure,
Just
yeah,
go, you-
probably. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the breaking news a little bit on that is Donut Entertainment just announced their next game, which these are the people that made Life is Strange and Remember Me. It's called Vampyr, with a Y instead of an I. And the Y is there because this vampire is a doctor, and he has to make very unclear choices about whether to use his doctor side to heal people or his vampire side to kill and feed. The tagline is take blood, save a life. Choices won't be clear.
Episodic or no?
It's not.
That sounds like it's going to be an awesome, funny game. Like, 'cause I feel like they'll try to make it serious, but I think that the internet is going to turn that into a meme-tastic game.
Just eats everyone.
Yeah.
It's not for release this year, is it?
No, it's set around the World War I time. The Spanish flu is going around, and he is a vampire that he gets bitten by one of his patients and is turned into a vampire, I guess. And this is the first time that Don't Nod is drumming up a second development team to try to work on multiple projects, which tells me Life is Strange must be doing decently well, right?
So they're doing basically the Telltale thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but this isn't episodic, I think.
Perhaps.
Oh, yeah, we don't know really, but
it is the genre they're pegging it in as is a horror RPG.
I think if it was episodic, they would have said so.
An episodic horror RPG about eating people or saving them.
Yeah.
Sounds weird. Sounds very
Sounds bizarre.
I think that's a pretty cool, like...
Sounds unique,
they do weird
which
stuff.
is something that is quite rare nowadays.
I think the choice between eating someone and saving them is, like, quite momentous. Like, imagine if walking together, like, man, Duck, we're either going to feed our family or we're going to keep Duck around. Like, that would have been a pretty...
Everybody loves to eat duck.
Yeah, see?
It's just a thing. Duck tastes well. Good.
He's talking about the
Duck
character. He's talking about the kid, not
I'm
a
so
duck.
tired.
Like,
No, I know what he's talking about. I'm trying to be funny. I'm failing.
okay.
Gabe's practicing his
You were
stand-up.
so serious about that. I was like, wait, is
No.
he really talking about a duck?
No, I know the stupid little redhead kid. Like, I got it.
Yeah. Dude, that was like one of the most emotional scenes. It had to be done the way that it was done.
I want to eat duck.
In further breaking news,
Someone's hungry.
the ESA has announced that for the first time, they are handing out 4,000 to 5,000 passes to random people. It says member exhibitors,
How's
so
that
like
gonna happen? Just on the streets,
Microsoft,
they're just
Sony,
gonna-
are going to get an allotment of passes that they are permitted to distribute to valued customers.
Oh, okay.
And-
so
What's
it's
this
not
for, sir?
random people. It's they still control it.
Yeah, they still control it, but it will be public people as opposed to industry.
Oh, is this E3?
This is E3, and
Does
so
E3 have that thing where there's like people outside E3 selling badges, like it happens at PAX?
no, can't because it's tied to your ID.
Yeah, because that was always weird.
There are people selling sketchy food though.
Oh, okay. Is there
the
people
food's
selling
bad.
their CDs?
There's people
Have I
selling their
told
you-
CDs. I got
ha-
one.
Have I told you about
keep-
how I got sold $20 worth of discs?
They hand you the CD
people-
before you buy it, and then expect you to wait for it.
And then he's like, you got to pay me, man. And I'm like, okay. And
Oh, what? People are selling mixtapes outside E3?
yeah,
Is that a thing?
I pay this one guy, and then his friend I don't even know where he came from. Like all of a sudden, I have 2 CDs in my hand. Like I was out of $40. That was like my lunch food, lunch money out of it. I was like, bullied.
You literally got loved.
just handed it back.
You literally got robbed for your
I
lunch
know.
money.
I
at
got
E3.
bullied into buying mixtapes that I never even listened to. I just threw them out.
You could have said no.
Once it was over, once that 30-second transaction was over, I was like, what happened? Like, I couldn't even, and they disappeared. Like, as soon as they got my
Welcome
money,
to America,
they just
Max.
disappeared. I was like, where'd they go?
Welcome to America.
Land of the free and home of the very brave. They sell you a product before you pay for it and take your money anyways.
Yeah. I was just like, wait, okay.
Pre-order now,
I
please.
guess that happened.
Yeah, you pre-ordered it and then had to put down your full deposit after you already, possession is what, 3/4 of the law or whatever, so you...
The American law.
No, because the way they pitched it is, it's like they're giving it away to you.
Right.
But then they're like, you gotta pay me for it. And I'm like,
Oh,
wait, I
jeez.
thought, okay.
Oh, but still, $20 is a lot. Like an album on iTunes.
I
is
know,
Like $11.
I know.
That mixtape must have been fire, like ears bleeding fire.
Was it any
Yeah.
good? That's what we want to know.
I just threw it out. I felt
Was
so
it like
dirty.
a double album or something? Like, damn, $20.
No, it was in a paper bag, like type of packaging, like with a print thing. I wish I could remember the name of it.
See,
I remember the word thug was in the like little sub thing. Like it was like a big kind of graffiti thing on the front, and then in the bottom was like something thug something.
If you can identify this album for us, please write into can'tstopasking@gmail.com. And before we get out of here today, we want to take Scott to Hype City. I heard he wants to go. They sell really nice cake there. They have lots of places you can get your body massaged or your hair cut.
And one more thing to make me weird, I guess. I don't. Cake is one of the worst things like that exists. Like cake is terrible. Why do people eat cake? Bless you. I'm not sure why people eat cake. I never understood.
You really say that cake is one of the worst. Like, have you ever watched the news? Like, there's a lot of things that are pretty terrible in the world.
Yeah.
Like,
cake should be on the news every day.
Cake,
like today, hey, cake just killed another kid. Like that's really what it should be. Cake is horrible, guys. Don't eat cake.
Okay, great.
After that PSA, we will now put ourselves into Hype City. Where are we traveling today, boys?
We are traveling to Hype City. Choo-choo.
Where within Hype City?
I don't know.
E3 is coming up. I'm nervous though because like I'm afraid that Zach is gonna make me eat weird stuff.
I don't eat weird stuff.
What healthy stuff? Yeah, that food wasn't too bad. Was that restaurant we went to?
We went to Whole Foods, a grocery store.
No, not that. The organic restaurant we went to.
Yeah. True Food.
Yeah, that's quite nice.
That was good.
True Food.
I'm just
Food Kitchen.
No, but you know, E3's coming and it's coming fast.
Yeah.
What, 2 weeks now, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to be like still like a kid on Christmas for E3. I'm staying excited. I'm not letting all the, because there has been a few pieces of news that have come out over the last few weeks that certainly could kind of like go like, ugh, is it going to be another one like last year?
Man.
But I hope that, you know, the third parties come out swinging. I hope Sony has at least a good lineup for 2016, if nothing for this year. And,
if nothing else, Microsoft will save us.
Sure.
That Hot Gears of War 1 remaster for 60 bones. That's what we're going to be dropping all.
Is it just number one? I thought it was that whole set.
No, it's just one.
It's just one.
Great.
Yeah.
That's
the game that you said was the system seller, remember, Scott?
Yeah.
I mean, Gears of War like a new one.
Yeah. See, because there's not a whole lot. I mean, because Batman's coming, but, you know, E3's before Batman, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I'm hyped for Need for Speed, the new one. I want to play that.
Yeah,
the one that's November, only at nighttime, which is interesting.
Well, that's based on Underground, and that was just nighttime. So
yeah,
featuring Batman, only at nighttime.
Don't ruin it.
Yeah. Other than that, like, what else is there really to be excited about?
Splatoon.
If it's not E3 or Batman. Well, that's out.
Could be excited for Lego Dimensions in September. You could be excited for Mad Max. You could be excited for Metal Gear.
That's quite a way off. Though.
You could be excited for Lego Jurassic World.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's this month.
Yeah. That's coming out June 12th. So
I don't know any other games besides Lego Jurassic World and Batman that are coming out between now and Metal Gear.
Elder Scrolls.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. You forget that Elder Scrolls Online is coming to console.
Unlimited.
Yeah.
By the way, fun little tidbit about Lego Jurassic World. Achievements got leaked, and they showed that post-game, you're going to be able to, like, basically, like, it implies that there's going to be a chance that you're going to be able to build your own, like, little Jurassic Park. Like, have little cages with dinosaurs of whatever types and stuff. So it'll be like Zoo Tycoon, which is pretty cool.
Dino Tycoon.
What a bam.
Yeah.
I'm taking our train to Batman Arkham Knight. Arkham Asylum is one of my favorite games of all time. I feel like the last two games were steps down, and I'm hoping that they can step things back up, especially because we haven't seen a lot, and I hope that like Max, you know, that means that there's a bunch of cool stuff in there, not that, man, we just repurposed Arkham City into a prettier version of itself. So I'm really excited for that, especially because The Witcher didn't really gel with me on the level I was hoping. Like, Batman is sort of the next big game that, you know, really could sort of win me over, and I would love for that to be the case, because it is ripe for an amazing game, and it's just it'd be fun to see if they deliver.
And then Mr. Game Riot, what is he going to pick? You should pick Mad Max. You should be the one. By the way, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this. I'm not playing Metal Gear when it comes out. I'm going to play Mad Max. I'm more hyped for that.
I said I'm hyped for Need for Speed. That's what I said.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Did you not read the preview coverage coming out for Mad Max?
People have been saying it's fun.
Yeah, but, you know, there's issues.
Sure.
What's the issues,
again,
mate?
Have you
played
again Metal Gear 4?
4? Yeah, I like it quite a bit.
And it had no issues.
I didn't say that.
So there you go. There'll be issues with every game.
Yeah.
There's only two games that don't have issues, Splatoon and Evolve. So, you know, if you want to play games without issues,
dear Lord.
that's where you can spend your time.
Actually, if we're being honest, there's only one game without issues, and that's A Link to the Past.
Actually, if we're being really honest, the only game that has no issues is not even a video game.
It's A Link to the Past.
It's okay. Real life Link to the Past?
Yeah. Real life.
Is there a perfect game? Mario Bros. 1, is that a perfect game?
A Link to the Past. How many times must I say
Link to the Past is a really boring, slow start. I think that's a problem.
I think
No,
Fallout
man.
3 is the perfect game.
No, in what way?
In
There's a
every way
million
possible.
bugs in that thing. No, A Link to the Past is the only perfect game, and I think this is fact now. I think this cannot be disputed in any way.
San Andreas.
I'm gonna throw Watch Dogs in for a nomination for perfect game.
What?
Zach just
one
wanted
thing
this week. Like he just
I
wanted to
wanted-
get the maximum amount of hate. He was like, "What could I,
I
say
wanted to bring this
week?"
up. I wanted to bring this up because, wait, I don't know if Scott cares, but I know Max cares.
Okay.
The FIFA has been lying to you for years.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
You got women in now.
They've been robbing you? How do you feel?
Look, the guy had an apartment for his cats that he paid $6,000 a month. Maybe those cats are like really important to the organization of FIFA. We don't know that.
Sorry, what's happened?
Okay,
One of the
FIFA, the actual organization.
One of the executives at FIFA was
More
renting
than
an
one, more than
apartment
one.
for $6,000 a month for just his cats to live in. He didn't even live
No. What actually happened, Scott, is a whole bunch of higher-ups and FIFA officials have been arrested for embezzlement, money laundering, and a list of...
sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean
Yeah,
like the game FIFA?
But on the
No,
bright
no,
side,
no.
with the game FIFA, we found out women are coming to FIFA, which is cool. So now you'll be able to play as...
Yeah.
No. Let's get back to the topic at hand. How do you?
I try to be.
How do you feel
I try
about
to be
this?
positive.
How do you feel it, Max? Like if we found out that the NFL was like
We did last year. Detroit Lions, Dallas Cowboys.
No, you be quiet,
Dude,
Okay.
there is.
I agree
there is
with you. That
no
was a
way,
travesty.
Like, I think almost in every major sport there is corruption.
Yeah.
So
Sure,
it's
but-
just it's a matter of like whether or not they get caught or not, and these guys got caught. And great, maybe this next wave of people that they bring in to replace them will fix all that and get back on track. Sure, that would be great.
It was pretty obvious when Kuwait, whatever the hell the country's called, won the World Cup.
Qatar.
I mean, everyone. Yeah,
Qatar,
sorry.
yeah.
As soon as they won the World Cup, we knew there was something going on because we can't even play during the summer because it's too hot, and it's just
Yeah.
you could tell that something was going on in the background.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. I expected Max to be more like brokenhearted over this.
I mean, like the problem is, look, I love the game of it. Like, it's like if I asked you, hey, do you really care about the people that own the football team or something like that? Like, it's not that interesting. Like, look, Chelsea's owned by a corrupt Russian guy who basically like robbed the country and then fled. So it's one of those things. I feel like I enjoy the game side of things, and of course, then with this, you start questioning the entire sport because it's like, hey, is there stuff happening behind the scenes? If it is, what can I do? You know what I mean? Like,
So in comparison, Tom Brady is a saint. That's the only point I want to make. All right, we're good.
we're good.
After all that FIFA talk, now you can look forward to following us on Twitter, twitter.com/bulletswinger for the boy
Wonder.
wonder. Twitter.
No, he's not the boy wonder.
Okay, the boy in blue ink. If you want to follow the guy in green, that's twitter.com/GameRiotArmy. And if you want to follow the
Girl in orange, I'll be that.
the girl in orange,
You don't want to be the squid?
I don't know.
the turquoise Texan is where I was going.
Oh,
Twitter.com/VolatileGabe and the
Equality.
googylicious Ghost Robo at Twitter.com/Ghost Robo.
Oh, the turquoise Texan. I'm gonna go by that.
And next week, do we have anything going on? I don't think there's any releases. I mean, Splatoon today,
No, Splatoon is this week. Yeah.
and then there's like next week is the first week of June.
Apparently on Monday there's something relating to Tomb Raider coming out.
Great, we get to look forward to that. And
all I know.
summer, we'll do a swimsuit calendar coming up soon. You guys can pre-order that.
Really?
Yeah, I've already signed you up. We've got a photo shoot at E3.
Great.
All four of us. Bring your best gear, a little bit of lotion, suntan lotion. I mean,
I was
and,
wondering this. How's the weather like in LA?
it's hot.
during this.
It's like 30 degrees.
How hot?
like it'll probably be between 80 and 100 while we're there.
No, what does that mean?
That's like another day because every day here is over 100 degrees.
That's like 30 something, yeah.
How do you cope? I cry when it's like.
Oh, it breaks my
Did you
heart.
say?
I
Wait,
hate
did you say
living
how do
here.
you poop or how do you cope?
I heard poop too, and I
yeah.
was like, wait, that's a little bit weird. Why would he even inquire about that?
How do I poop?
Well,
right.
you sit on the toilet. And then...
We are 2 weeks away from traveling to E3 and unraveling life's mysteries, but until that time, we're going to let you guys go. Thank you once again, Scotty Too Hottie, for joining us on this fancy show. Maxwell and Gabriel, we appreciate your accompaniments.
Is that even a word?
something.
accompaniments as
your company. You could.
Thanks for being here, guys, and thanks for listening to our podcast this week. Until next time, everybody. Thanks again. We'll see you next week with another episode of Can't Stop Playing.